Buenos dias, compadres. What's up with y'all? Just chilling. On the way out here to get some work done. Get some things finished today. I got a busy day tomorrow too. It's a good morning. I'm out here kind of in the countryside, so my internet might suck. So if it reconnects, bear with me. The internet's terrible out here. So what should the topic be about this morning? What we gonna talk about, man? What up, Chris? What's up with y'all? On my way to Grace Retreat, get some work done. As I said, my internet sucks out here, so if it messes up, just bear with me. Yeah, out here in the countryside. Yeah, for sure. We had a good time last night in the Discord, man. Y'all was on there for, I had to call it because I had to be up in the morning. Like, not as early as I thought I did. I was like, all right, I'm done talking. So let them talk, man. Let the women hash it out, you know what I'm saying? It's their chat right now. But it was good, man, to refresh our sea legs, you know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't did that in a minute, you know what I mean? That's what it was always about, man, trying to keep that established, you know what I'm saying? Like, I miss the old days of Discord, you know what I'm saying? When we first did it, and then when we started up, like, we was always on and off with it, you know what I'm saying? Like, 3 o'clock. Dang. Talking about, yeah, I was having a good conversation. I was still up. I was upstairs, like cleaning some stuff, and then I was making some food or whatever, trying to figure out what I was gonna eat. And I was like, I'm gonna let them. I stayed up for a while. I was just like, I'm gonna let them talk. Like, it had nothing to do with me. You know what I mean? Antoinette never did come back, did she? Don't worry, we get the Discord back to where it used to be. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple of people from here I want to add. I know what's her name. That girl that always come in, Laura. I want to add her. She's cool. You feel me? She's coming every now and then. You know what I'm saying? And then I want to add what's her name? The Bosnian. Like, I want to add her too. Ivana, whatever. There's a couple of people I want to kind of add in here, man. But as I said, I don't want. At first, I was trying to make it a big chat. I don't want it to be a big chat, man, because I don't like big stuff, man. People just, you know what I'm saying? I had to clean it up already, man. People just be in there weird. Y'all know where Mike been. It might been working. I don't like people in my stuff, man, because people be strange, man. Come over here acting funny. Be some strange fruit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm like, sometimes you want to just keep everything reserved for now, you know what I'm saying? As you see, we got a couple of freaks in here and be bothering people, be doing stuff. So yeah, I like to keep my stuff reserved. I don't want everybody in my stuff, man. People be stupid. You know who you are if you're watching. You know who you are. Weirdo. Or weirdos, should I say. Now, you don't understand why things got to be so hard with people, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, starting to think some of you sub-Saharans, man, y'all just not gonna ever be human. Y'all just not, bro. Y'all just so stupid. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said the level of obsession that people got, man, the level of stupidity people got is so, like, so dumb. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like our Discord, because we don't have a lot of that stuff over there. You know what I'm saying? Most people are simple. You know what I'm saying? They come over, they cool. You know what I mean? That's why I told you, I'm like, if y'all ever feel like there's attacks or y'all feel like that there's a lot of tension, pray against that, man. It ain't nothing to pray against a Negro. Negroes with they dying channels and they dying words. Nobody listen to a stupid Negro, please. They can't even pray themselves out of debt. Well, yeah, they gonna pray something on us. Like, man, shut up. The same type of chicks that can't even get a black man be sitting there trying to pray on people's downfall. You can't even get a nigga. How you gonna pray on somebody? Like, you couldn't pray for your black man, you stupid nigga. Because if you ever did it in my face, boy, you wouldn't be picking up your teeth off that ground. Some of y'all gonna pick y'all jaws up. I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all fake words gonna get y'all, it's gonna get y'all dealt with. I'm trying to tell you. I don't know where you is, and I don't really care where you is. But if I ever see you, just know that jaw, man or woman, I don't care if you're a man or a woman. You can pick your jaw too. Like, you gonna pick slap in your mouth. You can get, and you're gonna get slapped in your mouth too. Equal rights, equal fights. Everybody equal now. And I believe that. So if somebody deck you in your nose, remember that. Because you talk too much. See, makes it crazy about me. Ain't nobody off limits. You ain't off limits. I don't care who you is, man. No race, no gender. You ain't off limits, my nigga. You know, I know a lot of women that's just like, hey, I don't agree with men hitting women, but y'all, in y'all case, a lot of them is just like, I can make an exception. I can make an exception because you're stupid. I see women like that all the time in the comments. They're like, yeah, I'm usually not for men hitting women. They said, but she was so stupid, I can give them the pass. Keep my circle tight, man. You feel me? This song up here is kind of bad with the internet, so if it goes out, just bear with me, man. This song kind of sucks up here. So. The internet's always bad in this area, so I'll be surprised if it stays on for a minute. But that's just how it is. That's why I say this is just the way that it's gonna start being. You know what I'm saying? So as I tell y'all not. If y'all was a target before, y'all not gonna be a target no more. Because like I said, we're not really gonna be doing too many of these live streams in the future. You know what I'm saying? And a slow tar, they ain't gonna know where we at. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't worried about it. Like y'all might be worried about this stuff. I ain't worried about it. I ain't worried about no nigga. Niggas can't even fight the credit bureaus, man, trying to fight us. Like, boy, you can't fight white people, you gonna fight us. I always thought it was strange, man, people be doing stuff like that. What's up, homie? What's good with you, man? I'm in Kentucky. How the weather up here in Pittsburgh? How y'all doing up here, man? See, I told y'all, I be remembering y'all. I be knowing y'all. Kind of. I got like a little flip book. What's his name? Flip over. Oh yeah, Pittsburgh. Yeah. Like, see, I knew you was Pittsburgh. I knew you was from there. I know we having a good memory. Some people I can remember. See, if you cool, I can remember you. If you ain't, I'm just like, who are you? Like, you told me to hit you up yesterday because you wanted to send me some music. I never said that. Like, oh yeah, I did say that. I was like, my bad. Every time I tell my Discord that, I tell them, yeah, y'all remind me to do something they ain't remind me. I'm like, bro, where y'all sweat before? Y'all like, because you told us to remind you. I said, oh yeah, y'all did. That's when I don't care about stuff. I don't care. I don't care about a lot of stuff sometimes. I'll be like, why you bothering me, man? I'm like, that's why, because people I told them to. So I said, watch out for the strange fruit. Something about the workout. I feel it for sure, man, for sure. Yeah, I was feeling the thing. I was gonna do a workout this morning. I remember I gotta go out to Grace Street and get some work done. So it's gonna be my workout. Luckily, it's actually cool here. So I'm like, I ain't gonna be. Honestly, man, this sun here versus the sun in Texas, boy, that sun in Texas beat you to death, man. This is hard, man. That sun be beating you crazy. Here, the sun ain't really that bad, but it's like cooler today. So I'm like, it's gonna be cool to get some work done. You know what I'm saying? Plus, I love working out at Grace Retreat, man. It'd be fun, you know what I'm saying? Like, not cutting that whole grass, boy. We got cut a lot of field, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't fun working with Daddy. Yo, some days was and some days wasn't, bro. Like, some days it was cool, you know what I'm saying? And some days it was like, oh man, especially the early mornings, man. When Daddy won't get started in the early mornings, bro, that was the worst. Cause you know, early mornings you already cranky, everybody cranky and stuff. And then it was early mornings, you wouldn't get off till like 6, 7 in the afternoon, bro. Like, you would be in there for a while. Like, come on, man, we got a lot of work to do, man, come on. So we had to dig the ditches and the trenches and all. Oh my God, that one time we was out there, I think I was the most I ever sweated, bro. I had to, every like 10 seconds, I had to wipe my face. Because it was so hot, man. Them deer flies out there was tearing us up, dude. Deer flies was biting us. Mosquitoes, all that. We had to dig his trench, man. I was out there like John Henry, man. I was out there just digging, you know what I'm saying? But then he got us out there in the trenches, man. He had us all muddy and everything. Flies are strange fruit. The humidity in Kentucky's not bad. You know, I mean, maybe it ain't to me no more because when you live in Texas, boy, that's the worst place in the world. So I'm like, the humidity here is not bad. It's actually fairly nice. Like what I thought was hot here, go to Texas, you'll find out. You'll find out living in San Antonio, man. I think it is why I'm kind of tough, man, working with Pops, man. Pops, he'll feel strength in you, man. I remember working that day. I said, boy, I don't know how the slaves did it back then. I said, I'd have killed the slave master and everybody. You think you going to keep me like this for 400 years? Well, nah. Sorry, boss, I'm going to have to wipe you and your lineage out. Like, I said, it must have took a special type of mental beating because I said, ain't no way I'm going to be out here for hours and hours on end and I'm out here slaving and you whipping me like, nah. Then he turns you into a slave out there, man. It was hot. It's hot out there. There's so much to do out there, boy. It'd be crazy. I think one of the worst days, man, we was putting the insulation in the house. Oh my God, man, dealing with that fiberglass, the insulation that goes on walls and stuff, that Pink Panther type stuff. Dude, we was doing that in the heat. And then on top of it, the insulation was getting everywhere. Dude, when I tell you, it's like little bitty needles. It feels like little bitty because it's fiberglass. It feels like little bitty needles pricking you, dude. I'm talking about every time you try to wash it off, you would still feel it. Daddy had us put the insulation in the walls. I had to staple them up and stuff like that in the heat. And so while you sweating, it's mixing in with your skin and your sweat. Bro, you was itching like crazy, man. And I was always wearing one of these when I worked. Which we really should have been wearing a bodysuit. Now I think about, well, you know, when we was out there working, we ain't you know, so we ain't think about that. You know what I'm saying? Just be out there just working, you know what I'm saying? Then you try to take a shower everywhere. He's like, dude, this hurts, man. You know what I'm saying? You try to scrub it off, man. I think it was like that for like 2-3 days. I was like, dude, this is crazy. I said, yeah, I ain't putting up no more insulation without no suit. like a bodysuit. It's hot in South Carolina? Oh, I figured they had the beach area, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, we learned a lot of skills out there, you know what I mean? That's why I said, like, before I did music, man, I wanted to go into the field of carpentry, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, Daddy did carpentry, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know, he taught us the trade, you know what I'm saying? Like, not all of it, but he taught us some of it. And so I went and got, like, some books on how to, like, do carpentry, you know what I'm saying? But then I realized I'm like, I don't really know everything that I'm doing. It's not really like a passion of mine, you know what I'm saying? Like, even when Pop's like, he been doing it for 20-something years, but he was like, it wasn't really like his passion. Like, he loved doing it, but like, he knew God told him to preach, you know what I'm saying? And so he said that's why he was wondering why some of his business wasn't going the way it was supposed to. And, you know what I'm saying? He's like, God was telling him to do some preaching, you know what I mean? He was cold at it. That's why I say he was cold at everything he did, you know what I mean? But that was kind of like me. I was like, I love doing it. I was even trying to work on the side because he was telling me, like, you can go out there to the job site where they build like these apartments and builds and stuff. He said, you go out there and ask them, you know, like, are they hiring and stuff? That's one thing he told me. He said, be prepared. He said, son, he said, why don't you go over and talk to them people? Because around the corner where we lived there was some people that was building those new buildings over there. He said, dude, go over and ask them, like, if you can work with them and stuff. I was like, all right, cool. And so I went over in a pair of J's. I went over in a pair of Jordans, jeans. I was looking fresh. He said, son, he was like, dude, he said, they not going to take you seriously, man. He said, son, this ain't like a regular job walk-in where you can walk into some job like you're hiring. He said, son, when you go to these job sites, they want to know that you're serious about the job. He said, you know the first thing a contractor going to tell you? Wear your boots, son. Wear your hammer. Wear your tape measure. Wear your hard hat. Like, you ain't got none of this stuff on. You showing up in J's. He's like, he going to think that you ain't serious ready to work. I didn't think about that at the time. I was still kind of young. He said, son, if you show up to the job not prepared, he said, they're going to get mad at you. He said, son, the way I'm hollering at y'all, he said, that's how they're going to holler at you on the job site. He was like, you ain't got your tape measure ready. You ain't got your measurements right. You ain't got the tools right there. You ain't got your hard hat on. He said, the contractors are some of the worst people in the world, dude. Like, he was like, the contractors don't holler at you. He said, they're going to be mad at you. He said, so I'm trying to tell you. He said, if you don't go to the job site being prepared, he said, they'll either fire you or they won't hire you. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, true. So the next time I went over with a 2-belt, hard hat, boots, all that, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, hey, man, I say, hey, y'all niggas hiring? I say, y'all niggas hiring? There's some white people, man. They was the one that owned the business. And the guy came in, he's like, yo, come in, man, come into the office, you know what I'm saying? And I told y'all contractors, boy, they cuss up a storm, man. I mean, he had broke his little lamp. He was like, bleep, bleep. He said, bleep, 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 bleep. I said, yeah, he gonna talk to you like that on the job site. You don't get your tools right, he gonna talk to you just like that on the job site. And Daddy had told me, he said, son, when I started in construction, he said they hard on you out there. He said, you know what, son, I like that. He said, I like the fact that they would holler at me. He said, I like the fact that they was hard on me. He said, because it made me do better. He said, I like that firm correction. So he was telling me this stuff back then, you know what I'm saying? He said, I like the fact that they would set me straight, you know what I mean? That's why I said any job that I worked after that, like, people loved the fact that I could work for them because they saw, like, you could take orders, you could take direction, you know what I'm saying? I said, because again, they look for a lot of people who know how to listen and follow orders at work. And we was trained to listen and follow orders at work. So when I went to the job and I would show up on time, and I went to the job and I would do the right thing, I said, people was like, oh man, you know, like, Like, yeah, I was young at the time. So, oh, you know, you a good kid. You know what I'm saying? I said, you have no idea the training we had to go through, man. Most people get fired and cuss their boss out. We never did that. Like, I didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't have to. You know what I'm saying? Still, there's that one person there. I don't know if that's true or not. The internet's starting to mess up out here now, I think. So. That's why I say you learn a lot of. I don't really just want to say wisdom, man, because I'm like, honestly, man, what people consider wisdom is really just common knowledge. You know what I'm saying? But on top of it, it's like it is wisdom in a way. You know what I mean? So that's why I said I wanted to kind of go in that field of doing carpentry construction. But I was like, I just knew that wasn't my thing, man. You know what I'm saying? And even Daddy was serious about me with that, man. He was like, he loved the fact that I love carpentry and construction. I didn't really know he was like it with me at first, but Mama had told me, she was like, he would talk to her, and he was like, Missy, he said, I love the fact that he liked to work. He said, but I don't want him messing up his hands. He said, if he messes up his hands, he can't do his gift. He's like, he's not gonna be able to do piano and stuff. So he was real cautious about me being out there working hard and, you know, hurting myself, because he said, son, if you mess your hands up, you can't do your gift. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know why he was like it years ago, where he didn't really want me to do a lot of, like, not take boxing, but like we was doing like boxing tours. Like, we was gonna be like actually fighting people and, you know, taking a raw beat down, you know what I'm saying? And he said, son, I really don't like the fact that you would do that. He said, because he said, if you get hit too much, you know what I'm saying? He said, look at Muhammad Ali. You know, Muhammad Ali's from my city too, you know what I'm saying? And Muhammad Ali, when he got older, he couldn't speak, you know what I'm saying? He was like real jittery, you know what I'm saying? Taking all them beatings, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you can't really use your hands. You can't really, you know what I'm saying? He was like, son, you gonna mess your hands up, man, you know what I'm saying? And so when he was out there, as hard as he be on you out there for work, and he was telling Mama, he said, I'm really not gonna make him do too much. He said, because I don't want him messing up his hands. See, Daddy knew this, man. He knew that my gift was music. He said, I don't want him messing up his hands, man, because if he messes up, he can't do what God told him to do. You know what I mean? Yeah, real talk, man. So I didn't really know it at the time. I was just kind of like, you know, I knew music was my thing, but I didn't care, because I was stupid. I ain't care, you know what I'm saying? So we come out here to Grace Retreat, you know what I'm saying? Be out here working all day. And so I'm just like, oh, it's whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, he knew that wasn't something that I was going to do all day, all the time, forever, you know what I'm saying? That's why he was telling me, like, since 2014, he was like, bro, like, he said, son, I really think you should get on your music, man. He said, my thing is preaching and praying. He said, your thing is doing the music. He said, I think you should really focus on your music. I remember that, man. That was 2014. He had picked me up from work one day. We had a long ride, and he was talking to me about some stuff. And at that time, I was what, 18 or so, about 18 or whatever. And he was talking to me. He said, son, he said, I really think you should focus on your music. He said, if you focus on this, he said, God got something bigger for you. I didn't know what he was talking about. I just thought, you know, because Daddy would say that. Everybody at church would say that. I'm just like, that's before Daddy was big like that. So I'm like, he would talk. So we was common. I was like, he's just talking. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, okay, yeah, he says it, but well, you know, I thought I was balling because I had my first job. I had a little money in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? You know, you started getting into dating scenery and start talking to real. You know what I'm saying? So Daddy would call the hood rat girls chicken heads. He said, son, you ain't gotta get one of these chicken heads out here. He said, I called them a chicken head. Cause they really had like chicken heads, man. Some girls look like roosters, man. Like you look like you bobbing for apples, cuz. Like, Daddy was right, man. You all bobbing for apple neck Negroes. Like, man, y'all. He said, son, you do this right. He said, man, you be having women climbing out the wall. I remember he said that. He said, you do this right. He said, you be having women trying to bust through the wall trying to get you. He said, see, because you got options. And now I see what he means. They can't leave me alone. I said, man, I don't have peace. I don't have anything with a peace or anything. They just keep messing with me. I said, oh, Father, why did you have to say that? Now they came here. It came to pass, the word. I thought that'd be cool. I remember when he said I was young, I said, yeah, that'd be cool, right? I'm like, oh no, bro, that's not cool. We're gonna be together forever. I'm like, ew. She said she loves me. Ew. She said she got feelings. Ew. She said she want to get married and have babies and listen to Pastor Darby's messages. Ew. But, nah, real talk though, it is true. But he was telling me, man, back in 2014, I said, I didn't really know what he meant by that, but now I know, you know what I'm saying? That's why I said, like, bro, when you hear wisdom, I said, when you hear wisdom, man, heed wisdom. When you get good advice, man, heed that good advice. Because I said, see, you dumb and you young now, like, you don't care. I said, when you get older, you start to be like, oh, man, it makes sense. And that's why I said, no, all I need is my basic job. Because, I mean, all I cared about was making my money. I was making a lot of money, you know what I'm saying? To me, it was. And I was doing immature stuff with my money, man. Doing hood rat thing with my hood rat friends, you know what I'm saying? Me and Joe was like, we started our skateboard phase back up, so we was skateboarding, man, just going all over the city, just doing stupid stuff. And I mean, when I was younger, man, I was like, as far as I had my first job, I was younger. He was like, son, you told me that you wanna have more responsibility, you wanna do more. He said, well, son, you ain't taking your life serious. He said, you already, Daddy will mimic you. He said, you always walking around, see, I ain't got nothing to do, man. He even put his arms, somebody did it. He put it like, see, I don't got nothing to do. I don't get to do nothing. He said, son, you already flipping off the Belvedere. He said, you talking about you want to grow up be a man. He said, but son, you flipping over stuff all the time, jumping off stuff. Because that's when I would do my parkour a lot. He said, you ain't taking life serious. He said, son, you're not waking up early, taking care of business. You know what I'm saying? He said, then you walk around, well, I ain't got nothing to do. Well, I ain't got no job. He's like, because it's fine. Yeah, he used to piss me off when he would do that. He would do that because that would get to his face. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm like, wait, why I gotta look like I'm stupid? Why you gotta do me like that? He said, I'll be trying to give you more responsibility. He said, but son, you want to be a child. He said, I'm looking for a man to take care of stuff. You know what I'm saying? He said, the more you act like a man, the more I can entrust you with. You know what I mean? He said, if you keep acting like a child, I'm gonna keep treating you like a child. You know what I mean? And that's when I did start to mature a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? After I got my first job, I started to mature. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I said I was never really home, you know what I'm saying? Because I was always out just exploring the world, you know what I'm saying? Exploring my options and whatnot, you know what I mean? But at that time, like I said, I thought that was it. I said, no, man, you have more than just y'all silly. Y'all making me laugh, bro. Stop making me laugh. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I realize now the music is more important. You know what I mean? Like, for years, I kind of knew it, but then I didn't really know, you know, because I didn't think much of it. I'm like, I'm just a regular black kid from Louisville, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, my music ain't that good. You know what I'm saying? And then you start putting it out there, and people just like, oh my God, this is beautiful. This is nice. You know what I'm saying? I was used to it because people at our church were saying, you know what I'm saying? I like, you know us, we say that. But I said, but you know, then when I started hearing like people from Ireland or white people were saying it, and I was hearing people all over the world were saying, I was like, because again, I didn't think they really knew much about us, our music or whatever, but they saying, I'm like, I didn't think they acknowledged black people music or whatever. I didn't think they cared, you know what I'm saying? And they be like, oh, this is great. It was like, bro, where can I find your stuff? You know what I'm saying? Y'all silly. Y'all funny, man. But I was like, nah, man, I really started looking at it like, and I was like, yeah, man, you know, and that's why I said I wish I would have listened a lot earlier, like when Pops was trying to give me the blueprint. He told me, he said, son, I'm trying to tell you. He said, I'm trying to tell you, man, like, you literally can be walking in your gift and your calling. Because he told me, he said, if you walk in your gift and calling, God gonna take care of you. See, at the time, we didn't have faith like that. We was just like, we thought that if you Christian, you broke. That's what we thought. We thought like, oh, you know, if you do that, then God's gonna take everything from you. Ain't gonna be no fun. And then you're gonna have to be broke and stay in Louisville the rest of your life. That's what I thought. And I was like, ain't nobody, because again, I thought nobody liked Christian music. I said, ain't nobody trying to pay to listen to no Christian music. I didn't know how big Christian music was. I said, anybody trying to pay to hear no piano or trying to, you know, pay to hear me make beats and stuff. I'm like, no, they really do. This is a really rich, big industry, dude. Then you get on YouTube and see Christian artists getting 500 million views, almost 1 billion views. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is huge. This is a big industry. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of them don't understand, like, even when they like link up with like some of the worldly industry, like they don't understand like that's how big this stuff is. Like some of those companies I think I even own by or some of them I kind of like intertied or whatever. But that should tell you how big this stuff is. Like even if they do merge with a lot of worldly artists, I said this is how big the industry is. Like Christian music is huge, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why Daddy would always say, he said that's why a lot of times they try to make some of the worldly music sound Christian, because he said they trying to woo the Christians. You know what I'm saying? That's why they want to do songs with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a huge industry. I didn't know that at the time because I just thought ain't nobody trying to hear no gospel. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was our church thing. I said that's just a Louisville church thing or Atlanta church thing. It was like, nah, man, this is a worldwide thing. You feel me? And so I started realizing that now. You know what I'm saying? Oh, hold on, y'all. Oh, hold on, what's that? That's what's up, man. I appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that, man. That's why I said I just started putting it out there. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know nobody, you know what I'm saying? And I started putting my music. It's when I had my Stephen Darby Jr. Spotify. Like, now it's HD, but at first it was Stephen Darby Jr. And I started putting stuff out at like 2018, 2019. Even like 2020, man. Then I noticed one day my numbers went up. I don't know who was listening. There was people all over the world, dude. You could check your stuff on Spotify. It's just on Spotify alone. I wasn't considering like Apple Music and everything else. I could check my stats for like Spotify for artists. I got on there one day, boy, it said like 1,000 people listening. It'll tell you how many people's listening to your stuff at that moment. It said 1,000 people listening right now. I said, it's got to be a typo. It's got to be like wrong. Bro, it was thousands of people listening to my stuff at the same time. It was like that for months. Every day I get on there, bro, the highest it was like 4,000, like 300, like 4,000 something people was listening at one time. I was like, who are these people coming from? Like, at that time, I didn't know music was my thing. I was like, you know, well, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, that's nice to know. You know what I'm saying? But I said, but bro, I didn't know music. I didn't know who was listening. And people, what they do is they put your stuff on playlists. And when they put your stuff on playlists, everybody all over the world will listen to it on playlists. You know what I'm saying? That's how you see us, a lot of independent artists, man. A lot of these people, a lot of these dudes that get online flexing that money, some of that money, most of that money be theirs. Independent artists, that be theirs. That's what they made off of their music. Like, they ain't got to sign on contracts. The difference is that they make their own money. Their music might not be as big because they're not linked in with the industry, but they got all that real money because it's theirs. You know what I'm saying? Versus when you sign your soul away, you sign your life away to them dudes, they give you the stuff to flex with. It might not necessarily be yours. Your records might be more popular, but I said, but the money you really get behind it, you don't really get that much money. You know what I mean? That's why you see a lot of people like, nah, they choose to stay independent. They're not gonna sign with the industry because they ain't trying to do nothing gay anyways. And on top of it, it's like they want to keep their money. You know what I'm saying? And they sanity. So once like I said, once I seen those numbers was going up, I was like, man, that's nice. You know what I'm saying? I got like 2.1 million views in 1 year, man. 2.1 million streams. And that's a lot because I'm like, I never really got that number before. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even know who was listening to my stuff. That was back when I was just doing like basic music. You know what I'm saying? Like, my stuff now is a lot better. You know what I'm saying? And now my views and my streams is going up. It's still fairly new. You know what I'm saying? But my views and my streams are still going up. You know what I'm saying? That's what I said. I didn't realize how, and now having a social media presence is very important. I believe Pops had told me something about that, man. He was like, I think he told me to like post some stuff, but that's before, again, that's before it was like it is now. You know what I'm saying? People kept telling me like, hey, you need social media to post. You need to post your stuff. You know what I'm saying? I would never do it. And I said, well, at the time when I started YouTube, I said, I'm doing YouTube, right? And I was like, no, man, YouTube sucks. Like, it's not the only place you can use. And then I started putting it on TikTok, and I started putting it on IG. You know what I'm saying, bro? Every time I put something on IG, like, I noticed even with my other music I put on there, you know, it get views, it get, you know, you get a lot of traction. But it's something about when I do the piano stuff, man, that always gets the most. It gets the most followers, it gets the most views, it gets the best comments. You know what I'm saying? Like, people love when I sit there and make beats. They love when I do all this other stuff. You know, having a hard day. Hold on. Oh, my bad, y'all. See, I told you this internet out here sucks. This internet out here is bad. You know what I'm saying? But I'll be having to restart the stream. But yeah, somebody was in the comments. They said, bro, I don't even know why. They said, I feel like, they said, I was having a pretty tough day. They said, man, I turned this on. It's the first thing I saw. They said, I start crying. They said, bro, I just start crying. And I think they was like reading to it or something. I was like, I didn't think it was that serious. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what you got. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I was telling everybody in the Discord last night. Was that how people would talk about my pops, man. They talk about my father. And they saying all these good things. And I'm like, again, this has been Daddy our whole life. This is all we know. This Daddy always been like this. It's not new. So when people's like, oh man, you're like, I know this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I forget, like, because I'm so common with it. I'm just like, I mean, yeah, that's how he is. That's how Daddy always talk. He's always been like it. You know what I'm saying? But I forget, like, people don't know you, man. They just now met y'all. So when people are like, oh man, your pops is on point, I was like, yeah, he been on point his whole life. He been doing this. But I'm like, Steve, they don't know. They haven't been there your whole life. They don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because then I'll be like, why they keep telling me? I said, because you used to it. They not used to it. That's why they be so stoked. They be like, oh, what was he like? What was it like having? What was it like having him as a father? What was it like? And I'm like it would be like everybody else's father, like, you know, having a father in your life. That's what it's like. I don't think it's really different. You know what I'm saying? So they be like, oh man, they was like, dude, like, oh man, I watch your father all the time. I'm like, okay, you know, like I ain't trying to be nasty. I'm just like, cause I'm thinking like, who don't? I'm like, well, Steve, everybody don't. You know, they don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you was there every Sunday and Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So of course, when you comment with it, it's just like, okay, you know. So that's how people would. That's how I be with like some of my music, because I'm just like, I don't think it's all that. I don't have the top-notch equipment. You know what I'm saying? I don't have all the best sounds. I'm about to watch. Boy, I'm about to get some stuff. Boy, when I tell you I'm finna get some stuff, boy, my stuff is finna be off the chisane. I'm trying to tell you. What's up, Maria? Boy, my music's about to be off the chisane, man. I'm trying to tell y'all. These sounds I'm about to invest in, boy, this is probably gonna take about $3,000 of my money. About 3 or 3.5, $4,000 or something, maybe, if he that much, like. But it's worth it. One thing about Pops, man, Daddy was a big investor, man. He was real big in investing. That's why he got a boatload of tools. He got a boatload of music equipment. Just everything, you know what I'm saying? Because he said sometimes you got to invest, man. As I told y'all before, I started back in 2008, man. I remember 2008. That's when he first bought the first pair of electrical drums, man. It was a Yamaha electrical drums I have. And I was set it up at home. It's so far we was playing music at church. About a year before we was playing at church. We started in 2009. And so he would tell me to practice the beat. He said he would tell me to practice the songs, man, and you know, whatever. And so one day I think I folded the drums wrong and put them in the back of the car. And I remember we was in New Albany, and he went in the back. He said, hey man, why you put this in here like this? I was like, I don't know, I was just folding. He said, dude, he said, son, it's $1,000. You know, back then in 2008, that was a lot of money. He said, bro, it's $1,000, dude. He said, hey man, if you can't take care of your stuff, he said, because you ain't gonna take care of it, I'm taking it back. And he took it back. I remember that, man. He took it back. Same day, I think it was the same day too. He said, you can't take care of it, I'm gonna take it back. He said, it was $1,000. I ain't gonna be just getting y'all stuff and y'all won't take care of it. And he took it back. I told y'all, yeah, this ain't that bad out here. Like, yeah, man, he had, I believe that's almost 20 years a day. Our first music thing, you know what I'm saying? We did it on a Wednesday night. I remember that, boy. One of our first songs was Indescribable by Chris Thomas. Like, indescribable, uncontainable, you place the stars in the sky. If y'all know that song. Well, I'm telling y'all, man, we didn't know a lick of nothing, man. We went there and just started, you know what I'm saying? Because first, Daddy was trying to get Joe on the drums. He was trying to get Joe to do the drums. And I think I was going to do the piano or something, you know what I'm saying? Joe couldn't keep a beat for nothing. And so one time, Daddy made him sit there. But Daddy didn't make him do it. He would sit there. He said, now sit down and get this beat right, bro. I'm talking about you couldn't get up. Because Joe wouldn't get the beat right. Joe didn't have like a lot of the rhythm. And so Daddy would, at first, he would be experimenting with it. But he would get mad. He would get mad at you real quick. And so he kept getting mad at Joe. He said, nah, man, it's not the beat. He got mad. Because Joe, it was so simple to do. But I mean, Joe's not a drummer, so he don't know. So Daddy was like, you gonna sit right here and you gonna get this beat right. And so Joe be back there for like 20 minutes. He couldn't get up. He was sitting there doing the same beat. I remember that, bro. He said, you gonna sit right here and get this beat right. He said, don't get up till you get it right. And so Joe was sitting right there. I think Joe was fired up. He had to sit there and do the beat. I was like, bro, it started off as kind of like a goof. I think he was just trying to see what his capabilities was. But then, like I said, Daddy'd get mad at you if you didn't know what you was doing. It's like, yeah, have you sit there and just do it. And so I think Joe was low-key trying to cry because he was getting fed up. And so I would go back there, he was still doing the same thing. And Daddy walked out the room, he was still back there. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I told y'all, man, Daddy was like Joe Jackson, dude. I told y'all, man, y'all know how many times I got beat for nothing. I thought the Daddy would have you doing that. He'd be sitting there conducting with the belt. You get it wrong, that's not the note. Just hit you with the belt. Bro, he would do it all the time, man. I was like, dude, why you gotta be such a brute, man? I say, why you gotta be so rude? Don't you know I'm human too? Not to him, he wasn't. And then he was like, well, I own you. I own you. Bro, he would do that. I'm just like, dang, man, why you gotta do this, man? He would tell you, that's not the beat. That's not the way you count me in. I said, this is the way I count you in all the time. Like, what are you talking about? Don't say that. He's like, you get smart. I'm like, I'm just trying to shut up. He would tell you, when he say shut up, it was like, you couldn't say nothing. Bro, he would do that. I think one time he did do that. He'd be like, he be like, and then you trying to talk when he's talking. He said, hey, dude. He said, hey, man, shut up when I'm talking, boy. He said, shut up when I'm talking to you. You don't talk when I'm talking to you. And then you would shut up and let him talk. And then he'd be like, you hear me talking to you? I said, you told me to shut up. Like, what is this supposed to be? Bro, you be scared to say something because you like, they don't like, you told me to shut up. Yeah, it's like it too. Y'all just don't know, man. That's why I say, I'm saying. That's why I said, boy, daddy, it hit you so hard, boy, you ain't even fifth dimension. You ain't know what hit you. Bro, I promise y'all, you could on them vines when somebody get hit, like, ooh, what you say? You sitting there like, bro, you got spit coming out your mouth. Like, it would be like that. You would get hit and didn't even know you was hit. I told you, daddy hit you so fast, the sound barrier wouldn't hit yet. Like, you just, like, he would hit you so fast, you didn't even know. And then he would do that. Yo, man, he would literally do like, you know how these kids doing the little 6-7 thing? Daddy would do that with his hands. When he about to pop you, he would do that. He like, oh, so you want to be crazy? You want to be crazy? You think he going right, bro? I'm telling you, you wouldn't even see it coming. Just, this is wow. All you saw was the fifth dimension on this side. That's how you know you got hit, because you was like, bro, it's dark. Bro, it would get dark all of a sudden. I was like, bro, all of a sudden, wow. And then you think he going, you trying to look where his hands is going. And he would be quick, man. And then you think he going right. So then you'll try to go left. He's going left, and you run right into the pop. Bow. He's just sitting there like, bow. Bro, that's how you know you got hit. Bro, one time, he had popped Stisha one time because he found out we was talking dirt smack about him and mama one time when we was younger. And so, you know, mama always hit you with that when your daddy wake up. Tell him what you said. Oh, it was the worst. Oh, that was the worst, man. Daddy wake up and you got to tell him. You know, daddy's half sleep. Daddy already got that look on his face like, yeah. He's half sleep, looking like him. And you know he's just not in the mood. You know what I'm saying? And so mama was talking. So I think I had to tell mama what we said. So daddy was looking at, I think he was looking at me or looking at mama. And then he had popped Stisha. He wasn't even looking at Stisha. That was the cold part. Stisha never saw it coming. Because you didn't think, because again, you think because you looking over there, he ain't going to see you. He was looking, like, okay. He's on, He wasn't looking at Stisha. He was just like, bow. Yo, that was scary. Stisha ain't see it coming. She was, it's like, yo, he wouldn't even look at you. That's how you know the look was even coming. I don't know. Because he had me. Because he was looking over there. And then I thought he was like about to get Stisha. He was looking at what he just said. Bow. And I remember all I saw was just like stars. I mean, hit you like boom. You know what I'm saying? So shoot. Like, oh, snap. I was like, y'all remember how that dude was explaining his prison story? He said, you know what I smelled when I walked into women's prison? Bro, that's how I felt, bro. That's how my eyes was. Like, I feel like I had these Dover eyes, bro. Like, when I'm telling these stories, I'm traumatized. He said, I was like, hit you like boom. I was like, oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Oh, my gosh, bro. Still ringing from that pop, bro. That was like 7 years. I was 7 years old or something. Hold on, man. What's the, I forgot to go to this real quick. That's why I say, y'all, being abused is not fun. It's not fun. Hold on, what's the, I gotta figure out the code real quick, y'all. Hold on. Where is it? Hold on, y'all. Give me one second. I gotta type this up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hey, why does this thing do that? Yeah, that's a memory. See, that was the memories back then when you would actually get a thick skull now, man, because I'm trying to tell you, that sucked. Worry about your phone. You definitely have your phone right here. Boy, I could show you how there's certain places, man, that we had to work here, boy. Then he get mad at you. Yo, I walk past some of these places now. I'm just like, ugh, I don't even want to go over there. I said that was yelling on top of Capitol Hill. That's what he hollered at you. Bro, you would get mad. Oh my God. Hold on. Oh, man. Again, my service is extremely bad out here, so Might mess up. Man, one time we had a snake. We got snakes out here, man. These poisonous copperheads or whatever. And I mean, one time I think I was cutting the grass or something. I don't know what was going on, but it was like a freaking poisonous snake over. I'm actually out here at Gracious Tree. I'm gonna show y'all, bro. I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna show y'all where I have so much trouble with, bro. I gotta cut this grass. Exactly why I'm out here. But y'all see these? Y'all see like it's like stone. It's actually like little this stuff right here. Like it's like little stone pavements that lead up to the property, bro. So remember when I told y'all that story where Daddy was getting mad, and he was getting mad because it was a certain way you got to put them, right? So you see like how there's kind of like it's kind of designs on here. Like you kind of have to link up the designs in a way where it looks like it goes together, whatever. Again, I never laid these before. I didn't know it was laid out like that. Had no idea what was going on. My first time ever doing this. I'm like, dude, I didn't think it was that hard. We had to lay down this sand at first. So you got to lay down like y'all see this. It's like this type of sand. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So you got to lay it down and you got to make it pretty thick, smooth it out with the thing. And then you put it on there, you know, put the bricks on or whatever. So we came out here and me and Joe was putting the bricks down. And so first he said, nah, man, link up the designs together. Like he was trying to tell us a certain way to do it. Again, we never did this. I never knew how to do this. So it's a certain way you do have to do it. You kind of have to like smudge it in there and whatever. So I don't think we was really doing it necessarily wrong. I just think that we wasn't doing it the way that he do it. Because I tell you what, he get mad because you ain't do it this way. He's like, nah, man, put the stones right there. I said, Daddy, I am. Like, I'm putting them where you want me to do. He said, nah. He said, dude. He said, you got to link it up like this. And so I was like, well, y'all, are we putting it away? He said, man, move. He said, see, he went out there and got the stuff. He said, now you gotta make me come out here and work. I said, no, you don't. I said, Daddy, teach us how to do it. I said, it's my first time ever doing this. See, he would get mad because I said, dude, I ain't never did this before. This is my first time. He said, see, I got to come out here now and do it. I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. That's why you got me and Joe. Tell us how to do it. He was getting mad because he had grabbed the stone. He said, nah, I got to come out here. I said, no, you don't have to come out here and do it. And I looked at Joe with that look. And I said, Joe, I said, hey, man, you about to quit? That's why y'all heard me say on the video, I was talking about the video I did with him, where I said, okay, well, you can go pay the Amish people and the Mexicans that came out here to work with us, you can pay them. Because I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do here. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Because that was the day, I remember, man, the truck engine had blown. Because them same pavements that we was taking, we had to haul it. That truck we had at the time wasn't strong. Daddy had bought a smaller truck that we had to use. If we would have used his truck, it would have been fine, but he wanted us to use a smaller one. And it can't really haul all that type of weight, man. I mean, he got like, this is a lot of weight. He said put it on the back of the truck. We put it in the trailer, which I still think it would have been the same, you know what I'm saying? And so he was like, the engine was like just not strong enough, whatever. And so the engine blew on the highway, you know what I'm saying, on the way here. And so we had called him about it and told him, we was like, hey, yeah, you know, you might have to come out here and see this. So he came, he came out, he was fired, Daddy was fired up, boy. He was fired up. He said, he came out, he said, man, didn't I tell y'all to put that stuff on the back of the truck and not the trailer? We was like, yeah, but I think we like didn't have no space because we had to get like concrete. I think we had to get some other stuff too. I don't know if that was the reason why. And I said, I mean, it practically would have been kind of like the same. We pulling the same. And I was like, I don't think you understand this small truck can't handle, like it couldn't handle all, like it was dragging like thousands of pounds. I'm like, I don't think it could really do, you know what I'm saying? And plus when you go on the highways here, like it's a lot of hilly terrain. Like when you go up the hills, it's pulling more power. So I don't think you can really do that, you know what I mean? And so he was mad. He said, I told y'all to put this on the back of the he said, see, now you ain't got nothing to drive. I remember he said it. He said, now you ain't got nothing to drive now. See? And I remember I was mad. I turned around and I kind of like walked off and walked back. Cause I was like, I was fed up. I was fed up, man. Cause I was already kind of going through it with somebody I knew, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, I said, man, you know what? I said, I'm about to quit. I said, yeah, I'm about to quit, dude. And then we put all the stuff on the back of his truck, and another brother came to help us, whatever. And that's the day we came out here to do the pavement stones. And he was mad about that. And I said, yep. I said, you know what, man? I said, you know what? He's like, nah, I gotta come out here and work. I said, okay. I said, all right. I was like, I don't. I said, look. I said, I don't know how to help you. I said, I don't know how to help you. I'm trying. I'm trying everything I can. I don't know how to help you. That was that day. He wasn't taking it from nobody, man. Like he was just like, everybody leave me alone. Like every day, he like, leave me alone. Because I think one of the other brothers trying to come and talk to him. He was like, man, just let me be. Let me be right now. He was like, stop. Let me think. He would do that like because he needed to think. When Daddy was be like, stop, let me think, leave me alone. You feel me? It's like he would get stressed out so much. I was like, man, I'm trying to make it easier for you, man. I'm trying to make it easier to where you ain't gotta, you know what I'm saying? And then that's when he said that. I said, Pops, you paying me and Joe to do this job. I said, I quit my job to come and help you because that's what you wanted, right? And I said, I came out here to help you. And I said, you know, I was under the impression that, you know, you were going to treat us like men. I said, if you're going to keep talking to us like we children and then act like you got to step in and do the job, I said, well, then what's the point of me coming out here working with you? I said, I think you should just hire people to come do the job. You know what I'm saying? Because I was about to go back to work. And Joe was like, yeah, I already got me another part-time job because he started working at UPS. And I said, shoot, I'm about to do the same thing. I said, man, cause Daddy get mad all the time. I said, hey, man, I can't work with you in these type of conditions, man. Like, I can't. It was already hot outside, you know what I'm saying? This is like, I think in like September of that year. And yeah, I was just like, yeah, nah, I can't do this. Because then I had plans with one of my friends when I came back into town, you know what I'm saying? We were supposed to go somewhere. And we was already kind of late because again, you wasn't finished out here till he wanted to be finished. So you might not get finished till like 7, 8 o'clock in the afternoon at night. You know what I'm saying? Like it was an all day thing, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, you be out here for a good minute. So I was like, man, I'm gonna be late to this thing, man, that's going on. And fortunately, I wasn't late. I got back in time, you know what I'm saying? And the minute we got home, I said, I hurried up and left. I said, bro, I was like, no, I'm leaving. Because, you know, usually, you know, he'll come home and be like, yeah, do this for me real quick. I said, I'm gone. I said, I'm gone. So I think I did enough today. I said, I did enough, you know what I'm saying? As soon as they came back, I was already gone. I said, I was gone, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was good memories. Good memories out here, people. Definitely. It was, yeah, the best. The best. Yeah, that's why I said I walk past them little pavement stones now and I get pissed off. I'm just like, bro, you know what you caused me? You know, you have any idea how hard you made it? These stones, I was talking to the stones like stones human. So you have any idea how hard you made everything? And I told him, I said, Pops, we and Joe have never did this work before. This is our first time. I said, you've been doing it. See, he would forget he been doing it for 25, 30 years. I'm like, we haven't done this a day in our life. This is our first time. Give us some grace. Sometimes he wouldn't really have a lot of grace, man. He'd get mad. I'm like, okay. Well, then, and I said, okay, now pay the Amish that's out here, because the Amish will come do work for us sometimes. I said, pay them. They love doing this. I don't know what I'm doing. And I said, okay. And that's when I was like, I think I'm gonna move to Chicago. I said, I was trying to move out the city at the time. I said, yeah, I think I'm really gonna move this time because I can't do this no more. I said, I can't do this. Yeah, but there was good memories, man. That's why I said I do like those. As much as stressful as they was good memories, man. Because, you know, those were some of the last memories we had with, you know what I'm saying? Because then after that, like I said, it wasn't all bad. You know what I'm saying? That's when he started calming down. And we was actually, you know, he'll start talking to you as a friend. Like, it was my man's, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, like I said, that was back in like September. And then, like I said, in a couple of months in December, you know what I'm saying? That was the same year he died, you know what I'm saying? So it did suck because it was like, dang, man, you know, we was getting cool, you know what I'm saying? We was actually getting some stuff working and established, you know what I'm saying? What's up, man? I said we was getting some stuff established, you know what I'm saying? Before we was able to do that, you know what I'm saying? He died, you know? But we had a lot of good memories out here, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of his vision got fulfilled at that time before he passed. It's even better now, you know what I'm saying? So we keeping it living and going on, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was some hard work, man, getting to this stuff, bro. It was some hard work. We came out here at one time, man, there wasn't nothing out here except one little bitty shed, you know what I'm saying? It was like a little garage thing or whatever. And then we built our first little building out here back in 2016. That was when Joe had already quit his job and came and helped him. And then he had told me, he said, son, he said, when you gonna come out here, man? When you gonna quit your job, come help me? And I was like, okay, I'll quit, you know. And then I quit and came out here and helped him, you know what I'm saying? And then all the brothers and all the folk started coming out here, man, and started, you know, working us one, you know what I'm saying? We got a lot of pictures, man, that we had took, you know what I'm saying? And we keep them up in the cabins. which I actually got the keys to it. I'm not, but we put it on the walls, you know what I'm saying, to kind of like honor it and whatever. I'll show y'all this son, because live stream out here. I don't like live streaming out certain places or whatever. But I figured I'll show y'all some things, you know what I'm saying. Because like I said, when I tell y'all these type of stories, man, this is part of my life, you know what I'm saying. This is about 10 years ago that we was doing all this, you know what I'm saying. That's the same year. Keep in mind, earlier that year, the same year Daddy had died, earlier that year, man, again, Daddy, he didn't understand he wasn't a young man, you know what I'm saying? We had to keep telling him, like, you gonna have to calm down, you know what I'm saying? So one of the brothers had brought out and he had got up on stage and preached about it. He said, yeah, he said, see, I was out there doing stuff, you know what I'm saying? He had got on the ATV, and this brother had brought this real fast ATV. I said, yo, this thing was quick, you know what I'm saying? And so the guy told him, he said, Pastor, he said, hey, he said, now this thing's kind of fast, Pastor. You know, you driving on like rocks and stuff here. He said, Pastor, you might want to put on a helmet. And Daddy's like, nah, man, helmets are for sissies. See, that's that man stuff. That's that man stuff. Like, we do stuff like this. That's what I would say. I said, we do stuff like that. He said, nah, man. He said, he said, I'm a man, man. He said, helmets are for sissies, man. I don't wear that stuff. And that's the reason why they tell people like to wear their stuff, dude, because you need it just in case you fall off, you know what I'm saying? And so Daddy was hitting these, like Daddy, he was a speed demon. Like he liked to do this like speed stuff, you feel me? And so he was like going fast and hitting them corners real tough and stuff. And you weren't supposed to do that. Like you gotta calm down. Like this ain't no big old, like this is a big terrain out here. But I said it's not like something you can really be like doing all those like stunts and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So he was coming up from the lake. Like at first he was zooming and we was like, man, he going fast, you know what I'm saying? Then he was coming the other way around. He was zooming up from the lake. He had slid on the rocks. And when he had slid on the rocks, the bike had kind of jerked and he had threw himself off. Like the bike had launched him like way off, you know what I'm saying? And he landed like way in the field, you know what I'm saying? Like he kind of flew, I ain't gonna lie, man. Like because of the speed he was going, he wasn't supposed to be going that fast. And he had flew off the bike and the ATV. And like when he had did that, like he had like kind of launched himself like off in the field, you know what I'm saying? And when he had did that, like he landed in the field. Thank God he landed in the grass. Like the grass was pretty thick, but he landed kind of hard, man. And he kind of like hit his head, you know what I'm saying? That's why we were saying like you gotta like not do that, you know what I'm saying? And so we ran over. He was like, hey, he's like, yeah, straight, you know what I'm saying? Straight. And so he had kind of like hurt himself a little bit because he had flew off of that thing, and that's why we was telling him was like, you can't really be doing a lot of that, you know what I'm saying? And so he was like, oh man, he said, man, I didn't mean to do all that, you know what I'm saying? He was more worried about the guy's bike, man. The guy was like, nah, he's like, nah, Pastor, don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about the bike. He said, it's all good. He said, well, nah, man, I ain't want to mess your stuff up. He was like, nah, he's a pastor. We don't care about the bike. He said, we care about you. He said, we gonna make sure you ain't hurt. You know what I'm saying? And so he had got on stage, and it was a Saturday. He had got on stage because at first he was gonna sit out preaching that Sunday, but he had got up on stage the next day, and he was like, all right, he was preaching. He's like, y'all had a little accident yesterday. He said, but I'm up here. He said, I'm up here today. And he was like, gotta listen, man. That's why we was telling him like, yo, you gotta listen, man. Don't be out here doing stuff, man. You can't be out here zooming on these little bikes. That's why they be telling men like, wear your helmets, man. Wear your jackets and stuff. And you know, men will be like, nah, we good. You know what I'm saying? Because that's stuff I would do. I'm like, nah, we good. And it's like, that's why they tell you that, man, just in case you fall and hurt yourself. You know what I'm saying? I said, when you're a mess, man, you can't really say nothing. You can't really tell people nothing. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, let me see something. Yeah, which one of these keys are the ones? I think it's this one right here. Like I said, I don't live in Kentucky no more, so I don't know what be going on out here. What keys is what? This door is always hard to open, man. Oh, wait. Gotta take the top lock off, too. Look. There we go. Whew. I can show you a couple of pictures on the wall if y'all want to see. If y'all can still see, my service ain't too bad out here. I know it's kind of choppy, but, you know, I'll show y'all this, son. Look. These are the beginning pictures of, like, when we started, like, working out here, you know what I'm saying? Like, we would get, like, a little fire pit. You see, it would be cold out here. It didn't matter if it was cold. You still come out here and work, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, look, that's that picture I posted. That's me. That's me digging a trench. That trench right there, oh, my God, man. That trench was tiring. We had to dig that trench up, like, 2 times, man, because I think something busted under there, you know what I'm saying? I think it's the first time. It was the first time we was landing down there. And little daddy you see how he's supervising you? He's just standing over you. Like, he was standing over you and watching, whatever. bro, that would be menacing. Cause it's just like, bro, you couldn't even. You would think you'd be doing something wrong as soon as you would hear him. You know what I'm saying? And this is him like, cause he was a wood craftsman. You know what I'm saying? So he'd be like measuring and cutting and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You ever see him on the ladder? Look at him on the ladder. Like he would just be doing all types. Like he didn't. I don't think he really understood. He couldn't really do a lot of this like he used to. Like, cause he just. I mean, I understand. You got a vision, man. You happy and you just stoked. You just like, you're so happy you'll hurt yourself doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like I get it. But I was like, he just. I think sometimes he just needed to kind of calm down. He was just so happy, man, just trying to get stuff done. See, this is him just sitting on the what this building is now. What this building is now. This is before we had the building. Like this is the foundation. See, we did a lot of foundation land, so we had to dig all those holes and whatever. So he was sitting down posing for a picture. You know what I'm saying? Like this is how he be looking at you, bro. Like when you ain't even gotta do nothing. He just be sitting there looking at you like that, like I did something wrong. You know what I'm saying? Look, he's throwing out the blueprints now. You know what I'm saying? Throwing out the blueprints. Like, look, he's directing the brothers. Y'all see that? Directing all the brothers sitting there listening to him. Yo, I remember it was that same spot. That same spot right there. Cause y'all see where that table is, where we would set the saw up at. He would set the saw up right there. And one time the saw was, I don't think it was broke, but it was like, I think something was wrong with it. He said, who broke your saw? Bro, I remember, bro, everybody stop. He said, who broke your saw, man? Why ain't the saw working the way that it's supposed to be? And so everybody was like, I don't know. Hey, yo, don't do that. Don't say I don't know. Oh, man. He was saying, what do you mean you don't know? He said, so it just broke, huh? It just broke. And so he said, who was the last person that used the saw? And I told myself, well, nowadays, I think it is a little mechanism on you. You got to squeeze it. He said, no, you ain't got to squeeze your finger on it. He said, no, I wasn't like it when I was using it. He said, I ain't like it, I used it. He said, who was the last person that used it? And so we was like, hey, bro. He said, well, then that brother broke the saw. He said, now you going to replace it. He ain't care, bro. He let you have it. Well, let me show y'all these. We got some more. We got some more. Look, that's Joe. Joe doing his work. Yep, it's that same pipeline, man. That tube right there, bro, was so frustrating. I hated that tube, bro, because it kept messing up, man. Like, he's still digging. It was doing all the look, that's him using it's called a ditch witch. Like that's what you use to dig the ditches. Like he did not mind getting his hands dirty, man. You know what I'm saying? As you see, it's cold. We all got our jackets on. That didn't care what the temperature, and that's when the ground was hard too, man. Like so, it was harder, I think, to do it. He ain't care. Still get out there and do it. He still had to get out there and do the work. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, not care, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this is just part of my. We got a lot of pictures in here now. I didn't even realize all these pictures on the wall. We got a lot of pictures in here. I figured I'll show y'all these since the channel. I'm about to get off of it. You know what I'm saying? Get rid of it. I'll show y'all some stuff. But look, it's that same. Remember that saw right there? Somebody had kind of messed up. He was mad. He was mad about that. That's him on the saw. This is like 10 years ago, man. This is over 10 years ago, actually. This is kind of old, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, that's him. Look, Daddy put in the work. Y'all see that? He be out here working, man. He had a car, horse, and all of that. Like, it's a cabin. Yeah. Y'all see, no, he didn't want nobody touch that drill. He didn't want nobody touching it. This is all his stuff. He didn't want nobody touching his stuff. He would get fired up if his stuff be missing. Yeah, he was mad, dude. Look, at me. Y'all see how different I look back then, bro? I was different. I had a shortcut. I weighed more. Y'all could tell I was like more muscular, man. I was more stalky. I had a shortcut back then. I ain't had no locks. I know nothing, man. My beard was a little different. My design was different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's just like I said. Most of these is just us working, man. You know what I'm saying? He's like good memories. You know, like I said, there was a guy. He believed you get your hands dirty. You know what I'm saying? You get your hands dirty too. You don't just sit right there and boss others and tell them you do it yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's Joe, and that's him. That's when Daddy would cook. See, Daddy cook food too, man. He did it all, man. Like he just be out here cooking. He be out here just doing his own thing, man. He loved this stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's what made you kind of love it too, because he loved it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Who is this? Is this? Yeah, it's me and Joe. So that's Joe right there. Joe used to have a little fro. That's Joe, and that's me. Like, so you see me digging the holes, but Daddy would have you out here digging the hole. Bro, we had a machine. We had a machine that'll dig it for you. You would dig it by hand. You would dig it by hand, bro. He like, no. I got the machine. He said, y'all get it. He would make jokes with the brother. That's what that young man strip is for. He have you out here digging, which I didn't mind. I love digging it because it's actually a workout. You know what I'm saying? But now I think about it, I'm just like, bro, he could have made everything easier. He still made us dig it by hand, bro. But I tell you, he was a tyrant, man. That man was a tyrant. He's like, you do what I said when I said. Yeah, bro. Ain't like nobody touching nothing, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's old, bro. He's still instructing the brother. You see all these men. You see how all these men can sit right there and listen to one man. You see that? These men are sitting right here listening to one man, bro. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Bro, I swear, man. Look, digging the holes. He ain't care, man. How you out there working? You know what I'm saying? Like we got that trench dug right there. Look, this is when we laid the foundation. This is what it looked like now. You know what I'm saying? Like it look a little different. These pictures are older now. It look a little different now, but yeah, man. This is the vision, man. That's why I said they had a vision, dude. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I like to think of it. Like when you got a vision in the future, like that's how he was. He had a lot of visions for stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it really is sad, man, to see he didn't get to see his completion. You know, he didn't get to see his vision fulfilled. Like he saw a lot of it, but he didn't get to see the final thing, man. Like he would have saw what his ministry is now. Like it was getting big before he died, but if he would have saw what it was like now, man, like I'm telling you, which hopefully he could see it from heaven. You know, maybe God will have him like look in on it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they have like heaven TVs or something where he can see that. You know what I'm saying? That'd be kind of dope. That'd be kind of cool if you could see that. You know what I'm saying? Like I really wish he would have saw a lot of his vision fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? Like this is all the fellowship and like this is all the people, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that me? I can't tell if it's me. No, it ain't me. That's somebody else. Uh, yeah. We got a lot more. What's up, Ariel? What's good with y'all? We got some more. I know it's kind of. I might have to turn on some lights up. I don't know if y'all can see this kind of dark. Yep. Again, it's just more look as her daddy fellowship. You see how he's pointing. He's instructing the brothers. See that? The brothers are listening. He's instructing the brothers what to do. You feel me? Like that's how you be. You get out there and start pointing. See, whenever Daddy showed up in this type of a time, when he would wear stuff like this, he's serious. Like it's like his commands was even more serious than when he was wearing anything else, bro. Because it's how you know it's cold. Whenever Daddy wore his hat, he wore his hats and stuff. Yeah, for real. Like, look, that's how I used to look. Look at this, y'all. This is how I used to look. This is all. Yeah, see, I look like I weighed a lot more, man, because I was more muscular at the time. Hey, y'all heard me? The audio went out? Hold on. Let me see. Can you hear me? Y'all said the audio went out. Can you hear me now? Oh, you hear me? Okay, cool. Making sure. But look, more foundation land. You know what I'm saying? Well, y'all welcome. I'm glad y'all listening. Y'all watching. Look, I used to weigh a lot more back then. Y'all see that? That's when I had like a shortcut. That's how I used to look, boy. I used to wear suits. I don't wear suits no more. But yeah, this is all good pictures, man. These are real good pictures. You know what I'm saying? Look, Daddy on Saul. Then that's me over there doing. I don't know if I was listening to him say something. Cause he'd be instructing people a lot. You'd be having to like listen to what he was saying. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the post hole digger. Or that's the automatic one that'll dig the holes for you. I think I did choose to dig him by hand. I like the workout, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, he'd be over measuring. Like this is his expertise, man. You know what I'm saying? This is just what he was good at. Like he was good at everything. I don't know a thing he wasn't good at. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I said like he was like he knew God told him to preach, but before he was preaching, he was doing this. You see how good he is? He's in his zone, man. That's just how he was. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is all good, man. You know what I'm saying? These are good pictures. This is how the foundation was. Like, look, I'm digging the holes. That's that same trench. Digging that same trench again. Y'all see that? Like, and this is what I was saying. Like, that he wanted us to work hard, but he was Pops was like he didn't want me to go out there and mess up my hands, man. He was like he definitely didn't want me to go out and mess my hands up because he knew my music was my thing. And he was telling Mama, he said, Missy, I don't want him messing up his hands because if he messes his hands up, he ain't gonna be able to do his gift. You know what I'm saying? So he did kind of go a little light. You know, he was kind of like hiring some people and getting other people to do some stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because he was like, I don't want, especially me, he said, Joe, this is more Joe's like expertise. Joe knows a lot about this stuff. Because Joe's always been like an engineer. He knows how to build and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? That's his gift. He was like, my thing is more, you know, he was like, I don't want him messing up his body, man. Because if he mess up his body, man, he ain't gonna really be able to do nothing. Let me see. I got a couple more. Let me see. Look, you see that? Y'all see how you see how he look like he's scolding somebody? See that? Look, he's already funny. You see how he point? That's how he look. That's that serious look. You see the brother listening? Y'all see that? Look, he listened. He pointed you like that. See, that's a real man right there, man. That's a real man, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just happen to catch. That's a good photo too. They just happen to catch that in still frame. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this is all good stuff, man. This is good. Yeah, man, this is good stuff. I forgot all about these photos, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, these is good, man. These are memories. Definitely memories, bro. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I think I got a couple more. Let me see. A couple more. Did I? I think I showed. Yeah, I showed y'all those over there. Bro, drill sergeant, he was like it. See, some of y'all see. Hey, would y'all mind? Would y'all have a problem with sitting under that? Would y'all have a problem with coming and being a part of this? Yes, I know in the chat. Let me know. Would y'all have an attitude or a problem if y'all could be a part of this right now? If y'all could be a part of his ministry when he was here? If he was sitting right there and instructing y'all in y'all face, telling y'all what to do, and y'all got a chance to have a one-on-one with him, would y'all have a problem with that? Yes, I know. Because I need to make sure it ain't just me tripping here. I need to make sure that it ain't just me and then the people that went to our ministry that had an issue with it. I want to know if y'all would have an issue with it. Ugh, there's stuff in my mouth. Exactly, no problem. See, that's what I'm saying, boy. Y'all love see how y'all don't take it for granted. Y'all serious. Y'all take reverence in this stuff, man. Some people didn't. They had an issue with things. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then we have like a little. Hold on, off me. Oh, world, yeah, come here and get these bugs out of here. So yes, some more. We got a couple more. Yep, that's the installing of the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, that's that same, bro. That's that same trench, bro. We had issues with this trench, man. I'm trying to tell y'all this. Because I think the water came and filled it up again, so we had to dig it out again. Oh, man, I hated that, bro. That was the worst. Look, still laying out the blueprint, you know what I'm saying? This is why everybody could serve on the pops, man, because he was a real man, man. People respected him, you know what I'm saying? He was just real in what he did, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, this is all authentic, man. Like, yep, out in the cold. Did y'all see this stuff right here? This pink fiber insulation. Oh my God, the worst. I just told y'all this story. I said, dude, we had to put that stuff in the house on a hot day. I'm talking about it's like little bitty needles is pricking you, dude. Oh, it was the worst. Got all over your skin. It don't matter how much you shower, how much you scrub, like, and then your skin would be sore from like showering and scrubbing so hard. You know what I'm saying? We should have did it with a bodysuit on, but I'm like, it was already so hot. So he was like, bro, I don't want to, man. Like, yeah, man. That's why I say you can learn a lot, even out of these pictures. You can learn a lot out of this, man. Like, it's all he's showing you about unity. We was always about unity, man. You know what I'm saying? Then we have we have this right here. This is beautiful right here. You know what I mean? This is on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So this is just basically like his little tribute. You know what I'm saying? I remember somebody's wedding he just got through doing. You know what I'm saying? It's a real popular photo. You know what I'm saying? And then just basic stuff. You know. But this was definitely his thing. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't think we got pictures back here, do we? No, no, I don't think we got no pictures back here. But nah, this was definitely his thing, man. You know what I'm saying? So, I definitely won't show everybody everything like all over here because I don't. Some stuff is just like we don't show everybody everything. You know what I'm saying? But I can show you some things. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this was definitely his legacy, man, and his unity. You know what I'm saying? And so he inspired many, man. You know what I'm saying? He inspired many, man. Right after he died, that's when his name was getting like huge. Like it was already getting big, but it was getting even. Your name is big in death. Sadly, But I think that's why his name got even bigger, man, because people believe that he died. You know what I'm saying? So after that, that's when it just started going off. You know what I'm saying? Then y'all came over here and was talking. I was like, why y'all talking to me about this? You know what I'm saying? I was like, why y'all telling me? Everybody kept coming, like, oh man, your father. I'm like, duh. I was like, well, Steve, they don't know. I was like, you gotta remember, like, they don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, man, you so lucky. You so lucky. I said, yeah, you say that until you have to be under him for a while. I said, yeah, you say that until you got to get stern correction. You're not gonna think that no more. I said, of course you're gonna be like, yeah, I'm blessed, but you're gonna be like, yeah, it's also hard too. It gets hard. No, believe me, it gets hard. Like you saying that because you ain't never had it before. I said you ain't never had it before in person like we've had it. So it got so hard to the point where you got used to it. You was like, I'm used to this. So when Daddy hollered at you and correct you, was just like, it's another day. You know what I'm saying? People would get that and they start crying. You know what I'm saying? They get offended. I don't want to come back here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, dude, I can't take nothing. You know what I'm saying? All right. Yeah, it's like it, man. They don't know. You know what I'm saying? Man, that's crazy. Yeah, some of y'all recently had just found out about it. You know what I'm saying? Like not too many years ago. You know, there's people that still don't know you gone. You know what I'm saying? They still don't know. That's why my video be still getting a lot of views on it because people still be watching. They be like, I had no idea he was gone. You know what I'm saying? Like next year, make it 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Be 10 years. You know. And so, as much as I wish I didn't really speak on it, because weirdos came here, but I'm like, but I think it did help a lot of people, man. Some people did want to hear that, and they was like, this is closure they need. I didn't know that, I didn't know people even knew I cared. You know what I'm saying? But because I wasn't doing it in the light where I was like, what people looking at my pastor or they pastor, I was doing it just like a son's talking about his father. You know what I'm saying? But it reached a lot of people that way, but it reached a lot of people who knew us or who watch us. I think they know us. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And that's why I said if I can go back and change anything, I wouldn't, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we all think we would change stuff. I'm like, I really wouldn't, because it wouldn't have made me who I am today. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, I'm glad that Daddy in glory. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that we all doing our life and, you know, mind our business and whatever. But I said, but the thing that's always gonna sting, man, is that, he's not gonna be here for that. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna be here to be with his grandkids. You know what I'm saying? That's the part that really sucks. It's just like, dang, man, like he was supposed to be here with his grandkids, you know what I'm saying? Like see us get married and stuff like that. Because Joe got married he got married in 2018, so he got married about almost probably like 10 months after Daddy had passed, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like it sucked, man, because he never got to really do that, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm just like, dang, bro, and now Joe got a son, and my sister, she got kids and stuff. It's just like, he didn't get to. All my siblings are married except me, which is good. I wanted to make sure everybody, because again, I feel like I want to make sure my family is doing good, and then I'll do my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't really want to live a good life until I seen them doing good. Because they've been doing good, but I wanted them to do better than me first, and then I can, even Mama, I want her to do better than me, and then I can, focus on myself. So now we all doing good. Let's focus on our life. You know what I mean? But I said, with me being a junior, man, I'm gonna name my son the third, and I'm like, he's not gonna be able to be here to see that. He's not gonna be able to, uh, you know, be a part of that. And now my son's never gonna know who my father was. You know what I'm saying? Just like with him, like he didn't know his father that well, and then once he met him again for the first time in like 30 years, we kind of started getting acquainted with him. You know what I'm saying? He would call us on the, because he lived in New Orleans. He would call us on the phone. He was like, yeah, I want to see y'all one day. And right before he did, he died. You know what I'm saying? So I never knew my grandfather. You know what I'm saying? And now my kids ain't gonna know their grandfather. I'm just tired of the cycle repeating. It's just like, yo, I don't like that stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, it really does suck, man. But you know, like I said, my ex at the time, before we was officially together, we was still like talking, like before we was like together. And so I told her about everything, like after we had buried him and stuff. And so, cause he was gonna go meet her, like she was about to meet him. I was about to have her meet mom and daddy. You know what I'm saying? And I was gonna have her meet them that weekend. We was about to go out of town. I was gonna have her meet them, and you know, that weekend, daddy died. You know what I'm saying? We never got a chance. Because they never seen anybody I talked to. They never knew anybody I was talking to. But I was gonna have her meet both of them. You know what I'm saying? But daddy passed. We never got to introduce each other to each other. Dang, I found him recently. Dang. Yeah, man, that's sad too. It's just like, dang, like you feel like you never have a chance to, they never gonna have a chance to know who their grandfather was, man. That sucks. You know what I'm saying? Cause you best believe I probably would have dumped my kids on mom and dad, like, here, watch them. Take them. They like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, uh so yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I always think about what it would have been like. I said that would have been pretty cool, man, to see that, you know what I mean? But But yeah, like I said, look, as I said, man, we was hurt and upset that Daddy had passed, you know what I'm saying? And we still hurt and upset. But I said, but you can't say, man, Daddy in glory. He was in glory. He ain't got to deal with no more Negroes. He ain't got to deal with no more people. Daddy like how Moses was, like how Moses just couldn't wait to go because he was tired of dealing with them weird Hebrew Negroes. Like he was like, bro, I'm tired. I'm like, that's what they. He was like, I'm done. And I said, we want Daddy to come back for this. We want him to come back and deal with weirdos. Like, no, he's good. Like I said, we prayed for him to come back, and we knew heaven heard us. We knew, and I'm pretty sure when he heard, he said, nah. And I said, he's absolutely right, nah. And we was upset that he didn't, but I was like, but at the same time, we ain't really upset because it's like, why would you want to come back and deal with Negroes? You gonna give up eternal glory for Negroes? I wouldn't. Like, bro, I wouldn't give up a Chili's 2 for $20 for a Negro. Like, imagine eternity. Like, I get to be good for eternity. I ain't got to do no more bad credit, no more attitudes. And then y'all see what that pastor, that old man, whatever his name is, I can't remember his name. He said, I've been dealing with Negroes 45 years. He said, I just got a problem with everything. He said, I can't say nothing to him. I said, nah, brother, I know what you're saying. I know how you feel. You got to deal with Negroes for a living. I know how you feel. I know what it's like. That he felt the same way. Oh, man. Yeah, man, that was, yeah, man. But that was and like I said, Daddy was Daddy was well connected like that, man. He go to Africa all the time. He was around. It was this real mighty man of God over there, man. Real mighty man of God. And Daddy would go to Nigeria all the time, man. And this guy's big time. And you didn't just get to have one-on-one time with this guy. You know what I'm saying? But Daddy was able to do that because he was just special like that. You know what I'm saying? And the guy knew he was African American. He would look at him, he was like, this is a black American. He was like, that's something about you, man. You know what I'm saying? He didn't know who Pops was, you know what I'm saying? He didn't know nothing about that like it. And he would go over, man, and the guy would pray for him and stuff. He was just like, man, he was like, you're gonna do some big stuff. And the guy gave Daddy his personal number. He's like, here's my personal number. This is a big time guy. This is a big time guy. Like, the whole world knows this guy. You know what I'm saying? But nobody could really have a lot of one-on-one time with him. Pops did. I don't know how he did that, bro. He was able to just get through. He always got his foot through the door. You know what I'm saying? It's back in like 2012, 2013 ish or whatever. Like, he was a smart man. You know what I'm saying? That's why I told her every other weekend he was in Africa. He was always out of town, man. Like, him and Mom was always going somewhere. He would get back and plan. He's like, I got another trip coming up. I was like, you just got back. Yeah, TV Johnson. I was like, bro, you just got back. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then he'd be like, hold it down. He said, hold the fort down for me, son, while I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? That's when, again, we started doing like the man hug, like, all right, bro, see you later. You know what I'm saying? We started doing that. It was weird to me at first, bro. When we first did that. He's like, all right, so I'm going to give you a bro hug. You know what that is, right? I said, yeah. I started doing my homies all the time. He's like, all right, man, me and you going to start doing that. That was weird when we did it because I'm like, he don't really do stuff like that. I was like, are you okay? I was like, man, he would do stuff, man. I was just like, are you feeling well? Like, because he would never do that before. He's like, all right, bro, hold it down. I was like, bro, he never called me bro. He never says that. I said, that man called me bro, dabbing me up, and then he's talking about, he's texting. Daddy he would never text. He never texts, bro. He be like, all right, bro, you remember what we talked about him, right? I said, yeah. And he said, okay. That's still one of the weirdest things I've ever experienced from him. I said, man, they don't turn to a white man. I said, bro, I've never seen him do this. Bro, I almost thought his phone got hacked because I was like, he always says he don't text people. He always says he don't do that stuff. And he had text me. He said, I'd rather call you than text you. And the fact that he did that, I was like, his phone got hacked? I was like, is he feeling okay? Because I said, bro, he's acting different now. Like, he was really acting different. Bro, I remember my friend was talking to me about something in my ear. I ain't heard nothing she said. I was looking at the text. I was like, okay. I almost had to call the phone. Like, are you okay? Like, you straight? I said, you were from Holland talking crazy there. Okay. I was like, hey, he never said okay. I said, oh, Lord have mercy. They done turned into a white man. They done turned into a white man now. Yeah, TB Joshua was tough, man. That's why he would always go to Africa. He'd go to South Africa and then go to Nigeria and stuff like that. He was always over there, man, like seeing what was going on. So he had a personal connection with the people, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, even when like we be out here working at grocery tree, man, he would just have conversations with you. Like he was talking to he would talk to one of the brothers, or he'd be talking to mama. He was having conversations with me like that. Like me and Joe, he would just be talking to us. He like, see, man, he said, because there's one dude he hired, man, he always had an attitude. He said, I'm thinking about dropping him, man. He said, I think about just go ahead and just fire him and get somebody else. He can do the job right. And he would just be having a casual conversation. Well, like he was talking to like one of the brothers. And I was kind of weirded out by it because I'm like, he don't always talk to us like that. You know what I'm saying? And so we was learning to have one-on-ones, like being friends and stuff. He was talking to me like a friend. I was kind of like, bro, that's weird. Because he never would do that. And that's why I said that one time he was mad about something. And he was telling me, and I was like, you know how you say when you don't know what to say, you like, man, that's crazy. That's what I was saying. I was like, man, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know what to say. I was so weird. I said, he's talking to me like a person. I said, I don't know how to deal with this. Like, man, that was cool though, man. Those was good times. Hold on. No, I don't know who that is. I don't know these people, man. I don't know any of these people. All I knew was TV Joshua and them. And I didn't know these people personally, man. I've never met them. I don't know who these people are. People keep coming to me with this pastor, that pastor. I don't know, man. I don't watch them. I don't know who people are. Like, so all I know is my people and certain people that we was around. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I don't know. That's why Pops was saying. He said people love that laying their hands on and getting prayed for, like how they was doing over there. They was casting out devils and what I'm saying, laying their hands on. He said I can do that too. He said, but he said, because he was doing it for years. He said, but I'm gonna get you with the word. He said, see, I'm trying to get you to live right so the devil stop coming mess with you. He said, see, people go over all the time and the devil get the devil in them, get the devil cast out and go right back out, get the devil in them and won't come back. He said, no, he said, I'm gonna hit you with this word. He said, I'm good at the word. I remember he said that. He said, I'm good at the word. I'm gonna hit you with the word to where you stop doing that, to where the devil stop coming there and doing this. You know what I'm saying? And that's when he stopped laying a lot of hands on people. He stopped trying to do all of this because he was like, people don't want change. They not for real. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, that's sad because, TV Joshua was a good man. You know what I'm saying? And so a little bit after Daddy had died, TV Joshua died. I think he died like a year and some change afterwards. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we was at church one Sunday, and then one of the little homies came up. He said, man, y'all heard what? He said, y'all heard about TV Joshua? I said, no, what happened? He said, he died. I said, died? I said, what? It was like the same way I reacted when Daddy died. I said, what? I said, what you mean he died? What? And then I typed it in. He was big time. CNN even had it on the news. They was like, TV Joshua. I was like, what? I said, TV Joshua died? I said, I didn't know that. Like, what happened? And like I said, he went up to be with glory, man. He went up to be in glory. TV Joshua knew. That's why we used to watch their ministry all the time. And they had all type of, people do this. Negroes do this when they mad because you better than them. And they was trying to come out with scandals on him. I'm talking about TV Joshua stole my wife, and TV Joshua was a fake man of God. And he was preaching on this is how he told people how to deal with it. He said people, sometimes you gotta understand there's gonna be people that hate on you. There's gonna be people that's angry about your success. They just sent from the devil. He said they just mad. He said there's gonna be people you're gonna have to deal with. And they was like, yeah, that's true. It's gonna be. He said there's people like that because they try to do the same thing with him. And then I realized when they come do it with me, I said, bro, this is how you know you called. Because when people come over here messing with you, that's how you know you got something good about you. These are the same people that would be in the day with Jesus, the Pharisees now. If they had the technology that we got nowadays, they would be on Facebook talking about Jesus. They'd be on there doing YouTube videos on Jesus, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they always gonna talk about people, man. That's how you know you ain't did anything wrong. And they still gonna talk about you. They still gonna find some reason, man, just to hate you. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you know that you destined. That's why I told you. That's why I get blessed all the time. That's how you know you about to get super blessed. Because people can't shut up. They always on your case for no reason. I ain't doing nothing to offend nobody. I ain't doing nothing to mess with nobody. And they keep talking on me. Darby ain't bothering nobody, man. And people is trying to slander him. And I said, and look, and that's why the ministry's still blessed. That's why his name is still getting views, dude, because you keep talking. Every time y'all do this, man, I'll be trying to tell y'all. And that's why I said everybody has to deal with this, man. You always got to deal with some hater. Joseph had a dream, man, and he was a good son, and he had his other brothers that was mad and jealous of him. They wanted to kill the dude. You feel me? Like, you always gonna have somebody mad at you for no reason. He ain't do nothing to them. They was just mad because he was the favorite son or whatever. Or he was the special child. You feel me? Like, you ain't did nothing to nobody. They just gonna find something to be mad at. You know what I mean? Then they try to do the same thing. Well, he's working out of witchcraft, and it's all set up. And I was like, stupid stuff. Like, all right, well, whatever. We'll say whatever. It'll never amaze me how much a random weirdo think they know more than a called person, more than a person that is spiritual and deep. It's always some random weird YouTuber who think that they called to set people straight, like a stupid Hebrew Israelite who think that they called to do. And that's why all y'all Hebrew Israelites are stupid. All I do is, well, y'all the stupidest people on the face of this God green earth. Like, y'all so stupid. They even thought they was school to tell him something. Like, you see what I'm saying? Stupid. That's what happened with cosplay. You cosplay as peanut butter and honey and stuff. Like, that's what you do. So that's why I said, y'all keep listening to Darby. Don't listen to no internet YouTube weirdos, dudes with dying channels and small word and stuff. Don't listen to them. They wish they could be. They ain't never had no influence that man had, bro. Yeah, I'm finna get up out here in a little bit anyway. I got some work to do. But that's why I said a man of God's name is still doing more in his death than you doing since you've been living, you old loser. You know what I'm saying? How a dead man outdoing you? That's crazy. The man ain't been on this earth for almost 10 years and still doing more than you. Still, credit still better than yours. You imagine that? Even in death, your credit's better. Your credit's still better than us. That's why I say, yeah, you keep patrolling that same block you got. Keep patrolling that same Mississippi block you got, you nerd. Keep talking. I'm like, well, you should be just like I said, bro. I can be exactly opposite from my father and still got more word in one shoe than you got. I got more word in one pinky than you got in your whole entire body. That's why I don't even be trying to bring out the word on this channel. I just be talking about a topic and then scriptures will start flowing. You know what I'm saying? Word starts coming out because it is a word-based channel. It says he brings to your remembrance, man. We be talking about stuff that's similar, and then it'll come to my remembrance because it's part of the word, dude. This channel was based off a word anyways. It's not preaching. It just comes out like that. It don't mean I'm called to preach. It just means this is how it comes out. And I still give more of a better word and revelation than them niggas got in their whole channel. And they whole calling is they calling is to do that. And that's why they suck at it. That's why they mad. I ain't even got to try. I ain't even got to try to even do the word. And it comes out better than what they can do. And people still watching me. People still gonna tune in and watch what I'm doing. They mad that you can talk this crazy and talk this reckless and still have a good word base. You can still hurt their feelings and then patch them up later. That's what they mad at. Yeah, man, they stupid. That's why I feel well. You keep on talking, man. You keep saying what you want to say. That's fine. That's why I told y'all. Keep listening to Darby. Don't really write into me. Write into the ministry about how I changed your life. Because I can't really do nothing with that. But I said, but write into the ministry, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, y'all keep watching him and start watching these little internet weirdos. They again, internet weirdos are the same as the Pharisees and Sadducees do. Have you noticed they always critical? They always think they call. Whenever people are on there scolding, they're not doing it because God told them to. They're doing it because they're critical. Because if it's of God, you're going to point out good too. Like I said, I talk bad about some stuff, but I also talk about good with some stuff. That's why I tell you, I said, listen, as much as people hate both of these Republican and Democratic parties, I do think there's good on both sides. There is good people. I'm not going to just bash the whole thing. There's good people on both. Just like I said, I don't like the Hebrew Israelite nation. They the stupidest people in the world. But I said, but everybody on there is not bad. It's just the extremists. It's just they got a lot of extremists. All white people ain't bad. You just got a lot of extremists. I'm not gonna bash everybody. That's good and everything. If I'm gonna talk about the bad, I'm gonna talk about the good too. You feel me? I'm just a very fair individual. You got a lot of good women and you got a lot of stupid women, and you got a lot of good men. You got a lot of stupid men. Like I'm very fair. You know what I mean? So that's why I said I'm like, whenever you see these internet weirdos, they only on there to criticize people. That's how you know they doing it out of jealousy. They doing it because they suck. They can't never do nothing else in life, so they don't ever think they called to critique people. The word of God don't just critique people, man. It builds you up, it lifts you up, it sets you on the right path, man. That's why they'll come past aggressive. I'm just trying to warn you. I'm just trying to say, like, no, you're not. You trying to come over and be critical. That's them that's pretty much them cussing you out politely. That's pretty much how they do stuff. I mean, imagine, man, Darby had the coldest word you ever had, and people still think that he's off. People still think that God told them they bad credit having nappy head itself. He told them to lead the word. I will be letting white people know where you zoo monkeys are. I'll be letting them extreme white people. Yeah, yeah. I don't like y'all either, but I know where there's some zoo monkeys y'all can go get. If y'all beat them and call them zoo monkeys, I will be okay with it. I will be okay with that. Cause I'm like, y'all can't do nothing for a man. Y'all can't do nothing for a community. A man is sitting here trying to build up the black community, and y'all are so mad that he's got black positivity. Y'all trying to tear him down. So the white people are meant for y'all. That's why I told y'all, don't get all mad at some of these white people. Like, no, some of them white people is meant for them. They're not meant for us. See, they're not gonna bother us. They're gonna bother them. And that's why I said, I'm glad that y'all put yourself on the forefront. I'm glad that y'all think God told y'all something and that y'all supposed to be real. Because when we send these radical rhesus monkeys over to y'all, I want you zoo animals to be the same way. I want y'all to have that same word and that same energy, and let's see if it works. They can have plenty of practice on y'all. Because you best believe I'm leading them to y'all. That's why I'm like, no. What we need to start doing is documenting people's names and usernames and all that. Start doing that. And so when they want to talk bad and talk down on people and want to be black supremacists in our community, just send them to the wild. There you go. You know what? I don't like y'all and y'all don't like us either, but we got some people we got to clean up here. There you go. You can harass them, call them all type of niggas, whatever you want, call them at. Because they think that they immune from us. They think they're better than us. So now we're going to show them that you're not. I will put you on the back of the bus. Since you want to act like that, you will be the new slaves. How can you talk bad about a man that's doing something for the community? That's why Daddy I preached. He said, but if I was to die today, he said, my wife would be a cold woman. He said, they're going to be like, well, Stephen Darby was a bad man because his wife was holding it down. Guess what mama's doing? Holding it down. Guess what his family doing? Holding it down. And guess what a nigga doing? What they've been doing since 84. What niggas do. No difference. Just really sad, man, that people are like this. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I said, since you can't support the black community, well, somebody else is going to support the black community. And when the Gentile gets in, because best believe, shout out to my Mexican brothers and sisters. Shout out to my Asian brothers and sisters. Shout out to my Croatians, my Bosnians, my Romanians, all of them. Shout out to all my Europeans. Shout out to all of them. Because when they see the kingdom of God before you see it, you remember that. You know, it's funny. As I told you every stream, I don't see no Croatians or Bosnians having an issue with Darby. I don't see no Zimbabweans or no Malaysians ever had no problem. I ain't never seen them have an issue. Ain't no white people doing this. Ain't no white people doing this. I could probably show the most radical racist white person this, and they would probably still be like, bro, that's a cold word. You know what I'm saying? You would think they'd be on her trolling and calling, yeah, you in bombs and stuff. They ain't did that. We don't have one of those on our pages, dude. Not one. I have not had one. Surprisingly, as much as they do this online, I have not had one of them come in my chat doing that. They have never came on my page in my comments doing that. The only people that have hate mail, niggas. Niggas. So that show you, honestly, that show you who your real enemy is. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that a lot of white people ain't, but I know who my true enemy is. The ones that's around me every day. The ones that look like me. The ones that look like me is my true enemy sometimes. Because they masquerade as they one of us. They not. And white people know they don't have to come and get us no more. They just get us to get us. Right. It's so dumb, you know. That's why I say that. This is why I say I take it very serious when I see foreigners that come in and talk about us, because I didn't think foreign people watch us. We used to be in Kentucky. I got people from Mexico talking about, yeah, man, I watch your father. I'm like, but you in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? People over in Europe talking about they watch. I'm like, but you in Europe. Like, why you watch us over here? And I was like, why y'all got more reverence and respect for this and people here don't? And that's why I like people overseas, because overseas people can respect things. That's why Daddy's about to go to London, man. We was all about to go to London before he died, man, because somebody over there wanted us to come there. I was like, I didn't even know people even knew us over there. That's why I told you. I said, y'all, you gonna deal with Negroes in your life. You're gonna deal with people that's just negative. But then again, you don't have to. That's just part of life, you know. That's part of your process and your journey. Okay, I get it. But I said, but honestly, man, you ain't got nothing to prove to nobody. That's why I said, I'm not proving to nobody. I was gonna get on here and just make other videos and try to explain myself. Like, I ain't explaining nothing. I said what I said. Do something about it. That's why I'm getting up off this crap channel, because I'm like, I ain't got nothing to prove to you. We don't got nothing to prove to y'all, man. We are living our life. You can say what you want to say, but say it from the other side of the world, boy. When I'm over in Europe, I'm over in Asia, you can say whatever you want to say. Oh, look what God took me. Somewhere that you ain't gonna never go. And that's why I said your feet ain't gonna never touch foreign soil, and you ain't gonna never be a man or woman of God, and you ain't gonna never reach the masses. You ain't gonna never get 100,000 views. You ain't gonna never do nothing your whole life and your whole existence. You keep it up that way, you gonna die doing nothing with your life. And that's why you got people who took their last breath, ain't never did nothing, ain't never did anything, because they spent their whole life being negative. Still won't talk down on the man. Still won't talk down on somebody. That's okay. You keep doing that. You keep doing it. White passenger Floyd. Here, Dad. Word? Oh, two passengers? Crazy, man. You know it's crazy when white people come over talking about your father. I didn't even know white people watch us. And they be like, yeah, they be in the comments positive. Oh man, they was one white guy, he said, bro, I don't think nobody watch your father more than me. He was just talking, I'm like, bro, he was just like, I watch your father all day. And I was like, but you white though. I was like, I didn't think white people like us. You know, Daddy preach, you know, we are. I was like, I didn't think white people really watch it. White people come in the chat all the time. Oh, she was like, me and my husband praying for y'all. And then one dude came, he said, yeah, me and my wife is praying for y'all. You know what I'm saying? And then shout out to my one boy to be making the little skits and stuff. He was the little AI videos. He's like, yeah, he said, me and my fiance, man, we watch your dad all the time, man. You know what I'm saying? And these white people, I'm like, I didn't think that white people really watch. And I said, how do they got? And that's why I said, like, no, we don't just keep talking about the white devil. It's like, no, some of you niggas are the black devil. That's why Daddy preached that. Daddy preached that on stage. He said, you know, people talking about the white. He said, yeah. He said, there. So he said, but I showed on some black devils. I showed on some black devils. You know what I'm saying? I like, no, we ain't gonna get over you black devils that's in our communities messing with us every single day and our comments harassing us. You are the white supremacists of our society, dude. You are bothering us more than white people is. And that's why I said, I'm like, see, and I said, how can people of another ethnicity come over? And I said, that's why the Bible said the Gentile. That's why the Bible gave respect to the Gentile, because the Gentile is not stupid. The Gentile is not going off of technicalities. The Gentile is not looking at the color stuff all the time. The Gentile is not being super weird about everything. They understand reverence and respect for certain stuff. The Gentile cares about God, and when they care about God, they care about God's people who God sent. People don't want to be technical are out there on the corner wearing grape and gold and stuff, looking like grape apes out there, dirty sandwiches. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why they want to go out there. And that's why I say they out there on the corner hollering, doing not jack. walking around looking like a bunch of idiots, you know what I'm saying? Because they looking at tradition instead of true believing. That's why they be like, well, we ain't Christian. I'm like, well, then you can't be Hebrew Israelite then, dummy. You can't be a true Hebrew. You telling me you ain't Christian? Well, brother, that Christ is the only way. I don't know what to tell you. And that's why don't nobody take y'all serious. And that's why every time a tragedy happens, a bunch of them great babes go out there in 200 sections and go out there and no guns, no nothing, sitting out there chanting and hollering songs. Ain't nobody taking y'all Negro serious. You ain't gonna do nothing. And that's why the black Muslims, who are the ones that got the assault rifles, are usually gonna be the ones that actually get stuff done. The YN's gonna be the ones that get stuff done because you grape ape Negroes ain't gonna do nothing but go out there and sing songs and break dance. You ain't gonna do nothing. Love this topic. So no, I don't have, like I said, I don't got no compassion or no mercy for no Hebrews. Like they was the ones that kept coming over and messing with us. They was messing with the man while he was alive. Like I don't like y'all. I ain't never liked y'all. You conspiracy theorists, you weirdos, you weird Negroes. I ain't never did number one. Watch people online all day. I ain't never liked y'all. Y'all ain't gonna never be men of God. You ain't gonna never be nothing great in God. You keep it up that way, you ain't gonna never be nothing great. You ain't great now. That's why your channels is dead. Your words dead. Your face look half dead all the time anyways, Negro. You look like you a double stunt on the Walking Dead. You ever seen Negroes be talking and they just like the life is drained out of them? It's probably how God marked y'all, man. Y'all got this old dumb dead look on your face. Like y'all just look stupid. Y'all keep watching Darby, man. Because if y'all don't, y'all keep. And now, as I told y'all, I understand now why people come and say, "Hey, man, thank God for your father. Hey, I love this brother. Oh my God, I miss his brother. I ain't never heard nobody like this brother." I know. I kept wondering why people in my DMs kept doing this. I know why. And then I hear old bad credit Craig over here giving out his word. I'm like, dude, unemployed Floyd couldn't preach the word of God if you held a gun to his head. He couldn't preach nothing. He couldn't preach the word of God if his girl's life, if he got a girl's life is on the line. He couldn't preach the word of God to save himself. He couldn't preach it. Like unemployed Floyd, boy, he couldn't do nothing. That's why he's online trying to preach the word of God already. Because he failed at everything. And you hear that word and it sucks. And they swear they be eating. They swear they ate. You ain't no better than these little IG thoughts that post some little deep topic about something that ain't even deep. Like, bro, you acting like them. They use the word of God to scold people, man. That's why I say you'll never be a Darby, man. You'll never be a great man of God as long as you live. That's why your channel is dead anyways. Your word sucks. Only get mentions when they mention other people's name in their video. What a dork, man. That's why I say this is why I work hard in my life, so I don't be a freaking dork like you. Stuff is crazy. And I told y'all keep listening to Darby. Because you listen to these Negroes, you're going to end up in coats. You're going to end up with bad credit like them. They're going to ask you to give them a loan sum because God prophesied them a loan. And you're going to go do it. I think we need to check your credit before you be a man of God or woman of God. Let's see if your credit pretty good. Because, you know, you can usually, that's why the banks don't lend out money to people if your credit bad because they can't trust you. So I'm like, we shouldn't be able to trust you either. If you can't be trusted with your finances and your credit, why are we going to listen to you? I don't think I would listen to somebody who's jacked up. Supposed to be getting to work out here. I gotta get some stuff done, y'all. I gotta get some things done. So I like talking. So that's why I said I want to do another live later today. It depends on what time I get done. You know, I feel like I got a lot to do today, so I need to get started. But I definitely wanted to show y'all this stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? Because this is part of my life. You know what I'm saying? And so y'all been watching somebody and watching us and don't even know much about us. You know what I'm saying? What we do, but I'm like, this is what we do. This is what we got going on. You know what I'm saying? And so, like I said, I love to show y'all about my family. I don't care about people watching the ministry, you know what I'm saying, trying to prove something to them. It's just, I love to show y'all my life and what I like to do, you know what I'm saying, what I've done before. So, you know, this is it, you know what I'm saying? Like when you look at these memories, man, these is memories, you know what I'm saying? This is how it all started, man. This is where the foundation pretty much all began, you know what I'm saying? And it's good to see that, man. It's good to see all of that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I need to get going, but you know what I'm saying? That's why I say I like to see this stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to get, I actually wish I could take this picture. I didn't get a big old picture of this man right here. And I want to take his picture to Texas with me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Put that on my wall in my crib or something, you know what I'm saying? Like these are good pictures, you know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, y'all see Darby is a working man, you know what I'm saying? Definitely a working man, getting stuff done, you know what I'm saying? So we can all take a page out of his book, you know what I'm saying? That's why I tell y'all, man, keep watching the man. Keep watching the man and keep being a part of his ministry in a way, you know what I'm saying? And don't just watch him, but do what he was doing. Not trying to mimic, but do what he did, you know what I'm saying? Like real talk was like all he was trying to get people to do was that he tried to get people to wake up so many times, man. It's like people couldn't really. Some of them are saying it now, but some people are still slow. They like, oh, I want you to do it. Like, oh, I want another word. Like, what's the next message coming out? Like, oh, Steve, when you gonna do it? It's like, no, I don't. I'm not supposed to do this. Like, you do it. That's why Jesus had to tell people like, you can do many great things in my name. You can do works greater than me. Because if he didn't say that, people probably would have been sitting here for the last 2,000 years waiting on him to do something. The last well, Jesus the only one that can give the word out. He the only one that can heal the sick and do community service. Like he was telling you can do community service. If he was here nowadays, he would have been using the soup ladle. He would have multiplied the soup for 5,000 people. You know what I'm saying? He would have multiplied the funds to go get more supplies, man. You know what I'm saying? Like he was telling you can do this too. That's where missionary work comes in play. That's where ministry work comes in play, man. A lot of these people, Salvation Army, will based off of these actions of giving and receiving and doing. You know what I'm saying? That's why if he didn't say that, people would have been sitting there like, oh, there's only one. Is there going to be another? Like, no, you. Yeah, man. Like, but they don't. But like I said, they don't. They don't understand. That's why I said that he took everything that he preached, man, was out the word. That's why I told people. I said, see, if you read your word, you would know what he's preaching is not foreign. You would know what he's preaching is not. God, this is so like it's great, but it's like, but you would know this is in the word already. You be like, oh man, that's so dope that he said it. So cold he said it, but you would know, like, oh well, he's preaching off the word. Everything he preached was off the word, dude. It wasn't nothing extraordinarily special. It was like, dude, everything was word based. And that's why people don't read their word, and that's why they looking for him to say something. Then they figured out he died. Now they come, well, Steve, you need to go. No, no, no. Read your word, dummy. Read your word. It'll all make more sense. And then go back and watch the videos a second, third time, and then you will see what he's saying. It makes perfect sense. But they don't want to do that. So that's why I said a 501 message is not going to be any different from the 500 messages if you didn't apply what he said to your life. Daddy was trying to get people to change, trying to get people to wake up and realize what's coming in the word. You know what I'm saying? That's why he was so much on us, man, as kids about being smart, not doing the Negro thing. Remember, I told you I opened up the cookies one time. Like we was at the church, like 2010 or so. We was at the church, man. We was working with him on a Wednesday, all day that Wednesday. He was fired up. And so he said, go down. He said, hey, well, go down there and get them chips and them cookies in the cabinet. So I went in there and got them, and I brought them up. And I opened up the cookies, like I opened it up the Negro way. I tore it like long ways. And then, like we was only gonna get a couple of, but I tore it like the whole thing open. He said, no, he said, man, I know you did this. He said, bro, I know you did this. He said, man, see, that's the way he said it. He said, man, see, man, this is the nigga way to do stuff. He looked at me, he said, man, you ain't got to do stuff like this, man. He said it hurt to just open it the right way. He said, see, son, see, I ought to pop you for this, because this is the nigga stuff to do. That's the way he said it. He said, dude, you ain't got to act like this. He said, you ain't got to do stuff like this, man. You was trying to get us to do stuff the right way. Even like opening up your snacks, like you ain't got to do stuff like that. He was like, dude, you ain't got to be reckless. You ain't got to be crazy with your stuff. You feel me? He taught me to care about a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, but he taught me to care a lot, man. He said, see, son, your problem is you don't care. And he was like, you don't know what stuff costs because it ain't come out of your pocket. And that's why whenever you would break one of his tools or something got misplaced, he would make you buy it. He would make you pay for it. And so one time something was messed up on the drums, he said, you gonna pay for that. He said, you gonna start taking out some of your money and pay for that. And he meant that. He was like, no, you gonna start paying me. You know what I'm saying? And now when I get older, I realize how much stuff costs. I realize how much stuff is not cheap. And now I don't want everybody touching my stuff either. I don't want everybody touching my car. I don't want everybody touching my music equipment. I don't want everybody in my crib. I don't want everybody on my stuff because I'm like, I know how much stuff costs. You know, Negroes will come in and eat your food and won't replace nothing that they ate. They'll come in and break your stuff and they won't replace nothing that they broke. You know what I'm saying? Like, they won't even tell you. They just put it back, and then when you touch it, it look like it broke. People do this stuff here all the time. That's why Daddy had a rule: don't touch the stuff. He took everybody's keys. Everybody said, he said, nah, because y'all can't come in here and do the right thing. He said, I'm gonna take all your access the same way I do it on my channel. You can't come in here and talk crazy or talk right. I'll just take everybody's voice. Ain't nobody say nothing no more. You feel me? You gotta have reverence and respect for stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that taught me a lot. It definitely taught me a lot. You know what I mean? Uh, let me see. It's like it. But yeah, man, that's why I said this stuff is you know special. You know what I mean? And so you apply a lot of what he's saying to your life, and that's why I told people don't just watch him, man, but do better. You know what I'm saying? He Darby was special in his own way, but you can be special in your own way, man. You ain't got to do the same thing and be the exact same. Just apply what he's saying to your life. Take the same motivation he had for stuff. Like I showed y'all on the pictures of Grace Retreat, where he's over here working. I said the same way he was working hard and working a lot. I said, you do the same thing. See, he knew you didn't just get nowhere by just talking. Wasn't no government funding. Wasn't no just what the government gonna do. Like he knew he had to do it. And sometimes you gotta put your hands to it. We started this ministry, man, with nothing. 2003, man, we started with nothing. You understand? We started in our house. You know what I'm saying? Very first service on a Sunday in our house. There was no YouTube at the time. There was CD players. We got CD players, dude. Listen to praise and worship songs, man. We didn't have a lot of money at that time, man. We was a struggling family. And then the money we did have, we put into the church when we bought one. You know what I'm saying? We was always there working on it, fixing it up. Like, bro, we did a lot of stuff. We started from nothing. And now look at the ministry. It's huge because it took a lot of work and sacrifice. But it's not going to be overnight. And that's why I'm telling y'all, get started on y'all stuff now because it might not be an overnight process. It might take you a couple of years, man. It might take you a couple of years. So you're going to... takes time, man. That's why I said Joseph had a gift his whole life, but it took him years before he could really enjoy it. He had to go through a lot of stuff. He had to witness getting sold into slavery by his brothers, man. He had to witness getting lied on and spend time in jail for a crime he didn't commit. You know what I'm saying? Like it took him years before he can actually enjoy stuff. So it might take you a while. That's why I tell you, it's never too late. Don't think because you 30 plus, your life's done. It's not done. It's not done. It ain't never too late. There are people who's 50 years old just became a millionaire. It ain't never too late. So stop acting like it is. Stop listening to the world standards about old and too late and you unk now. Like, no, it ain't over till God says it's over. Start working now. Start putting in the work now, man. You know what I'm saying? We started in 2003, man. Like, how old was Daddy? Daddy was like, what, 30? What was it like, what, 70, 73, 83, 93, 2003. So Daddy was like 30. He was about 30 when we started because he was born in 72. So he about 31 when he started. He was about the same age as me. I think Daddy was 31 when he started the ministry. I'm 31. So, again, I'm 31. I feel like man, I could have did some stuff when I was younger, but I said, but bro, I'm 31. Daddy died at like 40, what, 46, I think, like 46 or so. So he, like I said, it wasn't too late for him. You feel me? That's why I said he was 31 when he started the ministry. I've been kind of doing my music for the last 3 years consistently, but I'm 31 now. I'm like, I'm starting at this age. You know what I'm saying? It ain't never too late, dude. You know what I'm saying? I started with not the best music equipment and the best music stuff. You know what I'm saying? I was making beats off of a little keyboard he got me back in like '07, like 20 years ago, man. I was making like little crappy beats. That's when everybody was doing it was like them Lean With It, Rock With It type beats. You feel me? And I was kind of like doing those back then. You know what I'm saying? And now I got the best equipment now to do some of the best beats in front of y'all. It ain't never too late, dude. You know what I'm saying? See, I'm not just sitting here on YouTube talking. I'm actually applying my hands and working. You know what I'm saying? And I wish people would do the same thing instead of getting on here running their mouth and, hating on everybody's success and praying on people's downfall and, hoping everybody fails so they can be bad and have bad credit like them. It's like, nah, man, some of us are actually wanting to do better with our life, man. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to sit there and watch people's success all day and not living it. You know what I'm saying? We want to have the same thing. When I see people enjoying life, I'm not competing, but I want to enjoy life too. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said when I start traveling and touring, I'm going to start doing my own thing. That's why I'm getting up off this channel. So I don't got to do this no more. That's why I said I done had enough of it. I ain't got to explain myself to nobody no more. I don't want to do it no more. I inspired people for 2 years. I've changed a lot of people's lives. You know what I'm saying? We got a Discord that we got some of the best people in. You know what I'm saying? We're going to add some more people in there before we done with this. The channel was supposed to have killed itself 3 days ago. You know what I'm saying? I was going to kill this channel back in July 20th. I said I was going to kill this channel and bury it in the woods. But I said, but you know what? I decided to keep it alive because I'm like, the channel came with a nice ransom. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I do get a little money off of it. And then on top of it, we still got good people. Everybody seemed to come back out of the woodwork now. I done seen my homie Dad was coming back in here now and then. Mystery was coming back in. Antoine, good people was coming back in here lately. I'm like, okay, well, we got new people here. And I'm like, well, now we want to start adding new people. You feel me? So that's why I said, like, I want to keep this going for a little bit. Maybe, like I said, August is going to be officially the last month. That's my birthday month. So I said August is officially the last month. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to do a lot of good things before that. And then I'm going to carry my journey over somewhere else and eventually continue it over there. I just don't want to do it over here no more. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. I'll give you the link. I'll give you the link a little later. Let me, I'm gonna probably do a live stream later. I don't really like adding a link in here too much. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, we got some weirdos in here watching. They be trying to hit me up on all type of stuff, man. Like, no, I ain't getting no link because I throw people out. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, we'll add it in here later. I'm about to get off here in a little bit, but everything I got on this channel is going on Patreon. I'm gonna keep it alive. I'm taking little snippets of it and just posting. I'm gonna come up with a whole new social media page and post stuff on there. I'm just not gonna do it over here no more. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I wanted to share some stuff with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like about my about my life and family stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And I tell y'all this stuff, man, to inspire y'all. That's why I be trying to tell y'all when I talk about pops, man, and I'm trying to inspire y'all because I'm like, this is what he did. He was inspired a lot, man. He was very inspired, and he knew he had to do something. You know what I'm saying? He started one Sunday, man, 2003, um, just in our house, and was like, "We're gonna have church at home." You know what I'm saying? And I mean, we had church at home, bro. I mean, it was a long. He's all right, y'all start dancing. And we got to, because mama ran a home daycare. We got some of the daycare kids' chairs and stuff. And so we formed like a little church circle. And I think my cousin was there too. It was one of our friends, our cousin or whatever. And I remember it was some song he was playing on the radio, because that's how you know it's old. You got CDs and stuff. He put it in the CD player, and we was dancing, and we just kept dancing for a little bit, and the song went off. And he was getting another song right. He said, "Nah, keep dancing." He said, "Nah, keep on dancing. Don't stop. Keep dancing." I remember that. Yeah, the first church service ever. I remember that, dude. And I don't remember what the word was about, but I remember we had church in our house, man. I took y'all to that spot last year, our first house, man, in the West End, and to see how it changed. I ain't been over there in like 20 years, dude. This is a long time. You know what I'm saying? And to go over there, I'm just like, dang, man, it bring back so many memories of just being a kid, man. And you know what I'm saying? I had no idea what life had in store for me as the years went on, you know what I'm saying? Um, and so that's why I was showing y'all that stuff, man, because I said he decided to just take something, because he was doing a lot of construction at the time. And so he knew God was telling him, like, nah, man, preach. Like, go preach. He was like, oh, no, I'll do this, I'll do that. He was like, okay. He's like, but go preach. And he had to yield to him. And he dealt with it for some years, man. I mean, you got to deal with people for years, boy. That's just dealing with people, Negroes is the worst. He had to deal with him for some years, you know what I'm saying? He was doing this for a while, man. And then it started taking off. Which I don't know. His word was always like this, dude. His word ain't nothing new. His word been like this since he been doing this, man. It's been like this for 30 years. Like, that ain't never changed, man. He's been preaching the same exact stuff. He's been doing this. It's just new now because it's on YouTube. I said, but he's been doing this. We used to come on TV back in 2007 before YouTube. You feel me? And it was a TV channel we used to come on. You know what I'm saying? It was a couple of, I think it was like two stations. Was it one station or two? I can't remember. He used to come on I think it was a Saturday and was it Tuesday? I don't remember what days he come on. No, I think it was a Sunday at like 6 o'clock in the afternoon or something. And then I think the next day was like Thursday or something. You know what I'm saying? I think it was like 2 or 3 times we would be on TV throughout the week. And that was a big thing. He was getting his word out there, man. You know what I'm saying? And then he was coming out with some programs where he was putting like Christian music videos on that he was hosting. He got his little green screen in the back. The back used to be like his studio thing. He just be back here working and filming. He done invested a lot of money in the cameras and equipment. Like he was always a go-getter. He was always like, he had a vision for stuff, you know what I'm saying? And then me and Joe was real young at the time. He wanted us to take it over. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't really know much about stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like we was young, you know what I'm saying? But he always working. That's why I say he never knew how to like sit down. That's why he would be like hurting himself, because he was always up doing stuff. Because he just had it, like, that's how it is when you got a vision. I've been that way. Like, I'm so happy I got a vision. Bro, I literally work myself up to anxiety. I do that. I work myself up to the anxiety where I'm so happy I can't even breathe. You know what I'm saying? My heart rate is like 100 something. I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing the most. I'm staying up late. You know what I'm saying? I'm cracking a Red Bull or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, and you got your heart rate going, and you know what I'm saying? You're stressing yourself out, but you're only doing it because you're so excited, because you see the vision. You know what I'm saying? And that's how he was, man. We came out here with nothing. You know what I'm saying? He went out here and worked and set the lines for the vision, man. He got so much done. And like I said, sadly, we gag Rachel Street back in like 2016, and he died in 2017. You know what I'm saying? And so we had a lot done out here, but we didn't have nearly as much done out here as we do now. And that's why I say he didn't get to see his full legacy play out. You know what I'm saying? Which is sad. Like, he was starting to see it when we was doing conferences, but to see what it is now, because, you know, his name got bigger because he died. You know what I'm saying? And because he was talking about stuff that a lot of people ain't talking about, you know what I'm saying? And that's why his name just went off the roof. Like his names went up. And so that's why everybody's like, oh my God, like, dude, I wish I had a chance to meet him, and I wish I could have came there, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, bro, if y'all would have came, y'all would have experienced something like y'all ain't never seen before, man. He'd have put you to work. You came out, he gonna put you to work. You know what I'm saying? He said it. He's in church. Ain't nobody gonna be sitting around doing nothing. Everybody, people, everybody gonna be doing stuff. He was like, everybody gonna put their hands here and start doing stuff. You know what I mean? And so what he was doing, man, was inspiring people. That's why he was always working with the young kids, working with the teenagers and the gang bangers and keeping these kids off the street. You know what I'm saying? They didn't listen to nobody. They listened to him. They did not listen to nobody, man. There are men who don't listen to nobody. They all listen to him. Like, bro, I'm telling you, that's why they were saying this generation of little young YNs and black people now, they said one of the only people that they think that can control them and kind of listen to them would be Larry Hoover, because Larry Hoover is a very big, dominant, respectable character in the game. They say he's one of the only dudes that can probably get a lot of these youngins on the way. I said either Larry Hoover or Pastor Darby. They are the only people I know that everybody will listen to. Ain't nobody gonna listen to everybody on the corner, man. They definitely ain't listen to no YouTube weirdo, no Hebrew Israelite. I said Daddy's one of the only people that everybody, even white people, listen to him. Bro, that was really rare because some of them don't listen to nobody. And I said, bro, they listen to him when he talks. That's why he has so much influence on people, man. Because again, he was just called to do that, man. He just had a heart of a servant. You know what I mean? He just had that. He had a good way with words. You know what I'm saying? And just how he was with people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. That's why y'all all from different parts of the nation and the world, but y'all listening because there's something about him that's different. You know what I'm saying? And I said, I really believe the whole world will listen to him if he spoke. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said these young black dudes, they was listening to him. They came to our church all the time. They was getting in all type of trouble, but they would sit under the word. They was sitting under the word listening, changing their life, man. He was getting them to change a lot of their life, man, getting them saved, getting them off the street, all type of stuff, man. Now, why ain't your church doing it? Why can't you do it out there on the corner with your dying word? I said, because you ain't called to do it. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got brothers, man, in the prison industry that's working with the prisoners. They listen to Daddy. They listen to Daddy. I told you one guy, man, I can't remember his name, but shout out to him if he's watching. If he do watch it, comment, brother, let me know. But he was working with he's in San Antonio working with the prison industry down there. I seen him the day I was setting up outside. He walked past with his wife. He said, "Yeah, man, so I watch your father." I said, "Oh, what's up, Bray? Big dude, big old dude too, man. That dude was big. Like, you can tell he's a big dude." He said, "Brace, I watch your father." He said, "I was just watching him today." They said, "Yeah, man, your father." His wife like, "Your father's tough, man." You know what I'm saying? And he was saying he wanted to incorporate like a lot of what he, and that's why I said I can talk to people like who are active. Like they're not just like, "Well, I watch your father," and that's it. He's like, "No, I'm actually active doing something, and I watch your father." I say, "Yeah, that's a good brother." Cause see, Daddy like people like that. He like people that was actually out here doing stuff instead of just sitting there talking. They actually doing stuff. And I said, "See, that brother gonna be powerful because he actually got the heart to do something, and he watching Pastor Darby." So I said, "Yeah, you gonna do a lot of stuff." Cause Daddy was reaching prisoners, man. He was reaching a lot of people, dude. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I tell you, man. Like I said, man, Daddy was a Crips. You know what I'm saying? The Crips in California. People write me and talking about, "Y'all was an ex-Crip, man. I'm listening to your father. I got a prison watching your father." You know what I'm saying? And I said, "How you get people in California who ain't got nothing to do with our gang politics? Like that's crazy." And I said, "See how you can reach people anywhere. You got gang members in Chicago listening to him. You got people in New York. You got people in Florida. People all over the world, man, just come from a bad background listening to him, man. So how is it that he can pull them and you can't?" And I said, "That's just because some people's called to do it, man, and some people ain't. You know what I mean? But you know, that's just how it goes. But But yeah, I don't ramble enough. I need to I need to actually get to work. I wasn't expecting to go like this long with y'all talk. But this is good stuff. That's why I said this is good stuff, man. I want y'all to see how influential, man, somebody can be. How influential this man effect on a lot of people's life, man. My life and all of ours, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want y'all to see that, man, and understand the honor that comes behind it. Somebody that's been gone for almost 10 years, but you still honor them like they was here. You know what I'm saying? You honor them like they did a lot in your life, man. You feel me? And I gotta honor him a lot more because y'all found him as your pastor. He got y'all some word. That's my father, man. You know what I'm saying? He chose to be here when he could have left and did anything else. You know what I'm saying? But to lock it down. And I don't even know. And I told Mama the other day, I said, "Mama, I don't know how you and Daddy ain't leave me at the fire station. I don't know how y'all ain't leave me and abandon me because I was a nigga." And I said, "I don't know how y'all didn't give up on me. I don't know how y'all love me." Because I said, I didn't love myself. You know what I'm saying? I said, "Because if it was me, I'd love my child." I said, "But y'all better than me." You know what I'm saying? And I said, he chose to be a father, man, when he could have been like his father and left and didn't stay. You know what I'm saying? And I said, that right there is tough. And that showed me a lot of responsibility. And I said, God forbid. But I always told myself, I said, I had a conversation with people for, and I said, if I ever was, which I know I won't, but if I ever was to go out here and get one of these girls pregnant, I said, I will stay responsible and be in the child's life. I said, because I'm like, my father didn't abandon me. So I'm not going to abandon my child. I'm not going to abandon my kids, bro. You know what I'm saying? That taught me how to be a better man and a better father. So when I have kids, I know exactly how to do this. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but anyways, y'all, I need to get up off here. It's the third, fourth time I've been saying get up off here. But just stay inspired, man. Keep watching Darby. And don't just watch Darby, man. Do what Darby was doing. You know what I'm saying? Not mimicking, not trying to copy, but just be in good faith like he was, man. You know, you be surprised, man. You get a lot of stuff done and the lives you can influence. Like when I did this channel, I would say before I go, but before I did this channel, I didn't really know what I was gonna be doing. But I knew I said you're gonna change a lot of people's life. I knew it was gonna be big. And it all started with me taking my phone outside and taking my first video. Me taking my first video changed all y'all lives. It changed a lot of people's life. I didn't know that. And I keep thinking that we all know each other. I keep thinking we all live in the same city. All y'all from the same place. We've been knowing each other for years and years. I forgot, like, didn't nobody know nobody from here? Like, we all met because it took humility. It took somebody to be like, hey, I'm gonna make a change. And I took one change, man, and was able to influence a lot of people. My channel has influenced, last year, my channel influenced 6 point something million people. 6 something million people, it showed up on their timeline. I checked the analytics, dude. 6 million people have been, it popped up near them. You feel me? It has changed a lot of people's life, man. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even know that, man. And then you're giving people a platform to be on and look forward to. I didn't know people even care about this. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know people even cared about that. You know what I mean? I just thought people was watching. I'm just killing time. But I said, nah, even what you doing, and I said, you changed a whole lot of stuff, man. A lot of people's life, you know? So that's why I said I don't look at it as a complete L, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't really care for this channel no more. But I said, but other people do. And because they do, I respect that. You know what I'm saying? But it started with me taking my first video. And when I took my first video, it was fun. I liked it because it was small. Like I said, I got about like 100, 200 views, I think. I think about 100 or so views. And then I did my second video, and it was getting like about 100, 200 views. And then my third video, or fourth video, only got like, I think, 85. It was like small, which was cool because it was me building. It was me working. I had no subs. I had like no subs. And then it started growing every day. I got up to like 40 subs within like a week or so. And then, you know, I started doing more videos, getting more. And then I did the video about him, and it just went off. You know what I'm saying? But it changed a lot of people's life, man. And people was like, hey, it's a good, people are still hit me on the videos, man. Like, hey, man, that's good, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, y'all still watch these? Like, I didn't know people still listening to these, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I'm about to take them off. I'm about to take all my videos off. But I was like, but people, I didn't yet because I'm like, people still watching that. Like, they still need that, I guess. You know what I'm saying? And so some people still do kind of need a little closure, man, that he's gone. They can't really believe it. And so people still watch that video every day. Like, it's fresh. They still watch it, which I didn't know why at the time. Video's old, but I'm just like, but no, some people need it. You know what I'm saying? So I kept it up for a little bit, you know. But I'm about to take it down next month. So if you want, watch that video. I'm going to take it out, put it on a Patreon. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I'm not going to have the stuff up on here forever. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to influence as many people as I can, man. You know what I'm saying? And y'all pray for the weirdos. Y'all pray for these little mentally weirdos, man, to come over here being stupid. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ever loved them in their life. And ain't nobody listen to their garbage words. So y'all pray for them. They don't go out here and do something rash. Go do something publicity stunt, get beat up. You know what I'm saying? Y'all pray for the weirdos, man. They definitely need it. But anyways, man, I'm gonna get off of here. For the fifth time now. I'm gonna get off of here and get started on this work, man. Y'all be safe, man. Y'all be easy. You know, watch the stream again, man. I might go live again later today, but just watch the stream again because this one's I think this was gonna stay up for a minute. I wasn't expecting it to be like this, but you know what I'm saying? This is really good, you know what I mean? Anyways, I'll catch y'all later, man. Y'all be safe.